I'm okay.
That's good. That's good. We're gonna get started because I'm gonna be talking about this a little bit later on tonight. But we still have the situation going on with the boycott, and a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are saying that we should, to a degree, we should all kind of calm down, have a conversation. We should learn how to get along. All of these things is what people are saying. All right. The problem is that people do not understand what unity really is and what unity really takes. And this is why we have these conversations here, because this is bigger than just somebody having a bad experience at a braiding shop. And it's very important that we make sure that the narrative doesn't get twisted into something that is emotional. This is not an emotional response. This is a very logical and strategic response, because this has been the only response that's gotten people to actually have the conversation seriously. Most people were not having the conversation seriously. Most Black Americans, non-FBAs, were not having the conversation seriously until it reached this point. Okay. Now, the fact that it's reached this point, now people are starting to take it serious. It wasn't even after the boycott was announced, because you had them, they were out there, a lot of the Africans, let's be honest, they were out here saying, man, y'all gonna boycott this? Why don't y'all do it now? They were daring the boycott on, which is how I got introduced to the whole thing in the first place, which is how a lot of people got introduced to the whole thing in the first place. It was the Africans who were mocking the fact that we were gonna do it, and who were pretty much testing our bluff and daring us to do it, which is why it led to this moment. So now we're here now. Now a lot of people are calling for peace. A lot of people are saying, why don't we understand that we have a bigger common enemy? And of what we're here to establish to you all is that the unity that a lot of people are asking for requires a common agenda. And what we have painfully realized throughout the last really few years, but spanning back a couple decades, is that these are people who do not have the same agenda. These are people who do not have the same agenda. They're showing that, they showcase that on the regular basis, and they do it so often to such a degree, they're actually causing a lot of us problems. They're actually causing a lot of us issues. All right, whether that's socially, economically, and politically, which is something I'm going to be discussing later on here tonight. And we have some people who would like to come up. We're not gonna be too long before we really get started, or whatever the case is. I know a lot of people just wanted a part two, because we did this live the other day. A lot of people wanted a part two, so this is the part two to that. So I'm gonna let BX, I'm gonna let your agenda is division. Well, okay, we'll come up and we'll have a conversation about it. Because the thing is that a lot of that, let's be honest, a lot of the Africans, and non-FBAs, but in particular the Africans, understand that they're wrong, which is why they don't want to have a mature conversation about it. Because they know what they're doing, and they know that they're wrong. Hold on. You got to mute yourself. They know what they're doing, and they know that they're wrong. And when you're here, we have very mature, sophisticated conversations with history and receipts, which is why they don't ever come up to have the conversation. They come up and they stay in the chat room rather, and they'll sit up there and troll in the chat room, further verifying our point. All right. So I'm gonna let BX. I'm gonna let you go ahead and set the decorum of the room, and then we can get started. Allowing
Sure.
people to speak.
So when you're allowed on the panel, immediately go on mute until directed to speak. When you are directed to speak, please lead with your race and ethnic group. And if you're over 18, you don't necessarily have to give us your age or pronouns, just that you're over 18. So what I mean by race and your ethnicity or your ethnic group is, here, I'm gonna do mine, for example. My race is Black and my ethnic group is African American / Black American, but I culturally identify as a foundational Black American. What that means is that my ancestors have been documented in the United States of America between the emancipation period of 1863 through 1865 and can be found on a United States Census of 1870. If you're in, we do understand that there were free people here. We understand that we're one lineage, but though we have those who are American Indian, right? But if your ancestors was here during that period, then we're talking to you, and you can just go ahead and say you're American Indian, and we'll understand. And we won't attribute slavery to you if that's not your history. As far as Latinos, if you are Mexican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Salvadorian, Ecuadorian, those aren't races. Those are actually ethnic groups, and you can just, if you present as white tea, say you're white tea, and then the country you come from will get it. If you mestizo, we understand that too. And if you are Afro-Latina, we get that too. Now for our people who have two ethnic groups, meaning you are a foundational Black American along with, let's take Haitian, then you can say that you are bi-ethnic, and then we may ask you, well, where does your other parent come from, and we'll go from there. We ask that you keep the language TikTok friendly, meaning do not say the big M, the big K, the hard C. So you got to say hard candy, greenery, for that stuff there, Mary Jane, stuff like that. Self-deletion, schmurda, grape, strange fruit. Also, in the chat, do not comment F1 or fruit. Continuously like the live as you remember and as the conversation continues. And before we start, or as we start, please look at that orange heart up by Afro Elite's name and click it and complete the daily mission, to have him in the algorithm and improve his rankings. Everybody is welcome to talk. Please, no matter how you identify, come up, be honest, and let's just have the conversation. We don't troll, and we don't want you to troll us. I'll land.
All right, let's get started. So we're gonna get to swords.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
Good
Yeah,
afternoon.
yeah, I'm Swords. I'm African, 100%, born and raised in East Africa. I like this conversation because I consider my African American brother, Black African brothers, I consider them brothers. But I had this conversation, some kind of conversation with my other brothers yesterday. And my questions were, who benefits from this?
Mm.
One, who benefits from this, and why is it like catching fire right now? And this is according to my research, this is what I found out.
Mm.
The West Africa is trying to protect the market, the American market, musically, economically, you know, in all aspects. How are they doing this? When it comes to music, Africa, they are trying to push their music in Africa, in America here, because one, American music, I think you have restrictions, or you have to pay for it for you to hear from it. You go to club, you have those restrictions that probably like stop you from getting the music free. So what they are trying to do, they are coming here, and the only way they are doing that is I don't know how I can explain this really very well for like everybody to understand it. They are pushing it, and they cannot push it the right way. So the only way they are doing it is by poking our Black African brothers to boycott, because African business and like African population is one of the smallest groups
Mm-hmm.
on American soil. So the only way for them to become loud is for them to provoke you. You boycott or you amplify your anger. By you amplifying your anger, you're actually marketing them. For example, there's a lady who has a saloon. I think it's in Atlanta or something like that. It's a saloon that has been going on rounds on social media. I did not know about it. Many people did not know about it, but because people have brought it up,
Mm-hmm.
so it has triggered people's curiosity. Now they are trying to find out, is it exactly what people are talking about? Let's go and see it. Let's see what's going on. So you're like creating market for the Africans.
Okay, well let me say something about that then. A lot of people keep framing this issue as if this is some type of plot or something like that, as if
I'm
this
not dependent. It have nothing to do with
hold
dependent.
on, everybody. I'm gonna let you speak, but as you're coming up, you gotta mute your mic. All right, because there's gonna be a lot of background noise. This is not a plot or something like that where people are like, there's some puppet master with his hands and or on some strings and all of that. This is not that. All right, this is because of decades of not only disrespect, because a lot of people are saying it's disrespect. It's actually beyond people being disrespectful. It's years of really opposition, okay, and saboteur behavior stemming from the African community towards Black Americans. Okay, we can go back years and see receipts of Black Americans unwarranted attacks from the diaspora, where we're being piled up on by the diaspora. It's just out of nowhere, man. The Akatas are so uneducated, man. The Akatas don't have no culture, and we have. Hold on, you got to mute yourself because there's a lot of background noise. The Akatas have no culture. The Akatas are so uneducated. The Akatas do so much crime, and it's this. And well, when we come to America, we do better than what they do, so we're better than them. It's a lot of that stuff going on. That stuff going on as far as politics. Them calling us lazy. Them going into politics and then deliberately sabotaging reparations. We can talk about Brian Donalds. We can talk about Wes Moore. We can talk about all of these things. So it's a buildup of a lot of things in a conversation that we've been having on TikTok, because this is not a new conversation. We've been having these conversations on TikTok almost ever since TikTok had the feature of people going live. So we've been having these conversations, and for the most part, the conversations have been ignored. The conversations have been ignored, and we've been gaslit. We've been told every time we have an issue with something that we need to just shut up and let it go. So this is why it's gotten to this point, all right? Because of the behavior that we're repeatedly seeing from the African community in America. So a lot of people want to come up. Let me set the thing up. So yeah, I'm glad we're able to make that clear. This is not, a lot of people make it seem like, man, this is some big plot. No, this is just the fact that folks are coming over here and not knowing how to act.
May I respond
And
to that?
it's kind of very simple.
May I respond to that?
Real quick, you get a
Yeah,
very quick response. I want to hear what you have to say about what I said, and then and then we're gonna move on.
thank you. So before we come to America as foreigners,
Uh-huh.
America is advertised on Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So what they portray back there to us in Africa is like America is heaven on earth. That's how beautiful they portray it back there. And then they go ahead and tell us how our our black brothers are evil in America. They never talk about your good contribution. They only talk about people, doing lots of crime, jails and stuff, and all that kind of bad stuff. So when we come to America, we are afraid of our fellow brothers. It's until you get to socialize with them that's when you get to know who they are. So
Mm-hmm.
we come from Africa to America with that image printed on our brains.
Okay.
So what we try mostly to do is to either avoid to socialize with the people they tell us that they are bad, or we kind of discriminate ourselves from them. Or to some people socialize, they get to know them. Like for me, for example, my girlfriend is Black American. Is Black American. So you get to know who they are. That's why you see there is a lot of a bridge between us Africans and our brothers. It's not that people
Okay.
really don't like Black Americans.
Now,
No,
now,
it's the
can I
bridge.
let me respond to that real quick, and then we're gonna move on. That is something that we've heard many times before, and I could almost give that somewhat of, because of course we understand that we're misrepresented in the media. We get that. We totally understand that. But the thing is that that would be something if we were talking about maybe 20, 30 years ago. But now we have social media. I see Africans on social media making YouTube videos, TikTok videos. People make videos across the world. So now your limitations of the image that you see of us is not the same. You don't have this super hyper filtered limitation of Black Americans that you all may be used to. That excuse maybe used to fly a little bit. I'm not even going to give it all that, because then you still have first generation immigrants who grow up here and have very similar, if not more disdain. But even now, you can't say that somebody immigrating to America now can use that excuse because you all have YouTube. You all have Twitter. You guys know stuff. I'm seeing you guys impersonate Tupac, and I'm seeing you all impersonate Michael Jackson and all of that stuff. You all know who Beyonce is. You know who Kendrick Lamar is. You all know who these people are. So the filter is gone now. They can't really filter what you all see. So that excuse is outdated, you know? And even if it wasn't, the thing is that what we're supposed to just understand that out of ignorance, we get sabotaged, and we're supposed to tolerate that instead of the African community, or the diaspora rather, saying to each other, hey, we need to teach each other how to behave when we go to somebody else's land. You know, so this is why, as far as that excuse, a lot of people is kind of like, we're not feeling that, because that excuse is really not legitimate in our minds.
Hey,
Something
can I
to Yeah,
can I speak?
that's a talking point at this time. When you start hearing that so much, because we know how they showcase them to us, but by a certain age, we got over that. So yes, maybe, and then everybody comes up with this bullying story, right? And we knock it off to just childhood antics. Was it right? Not necessarily right, right? But then as time goes on, these stories start getting outrageous because now they talk about they came in high school and they were teased. At high school, we're getting ready for college. We're getting ready for prom dresses. We're going out with our boyfriends. Like, we're not concerned with bullying or making fun of somebody who migrated here. So I think at some time y'all need to put the talking tropes down and address the real issues. And the real issues is when you come here and you migrate here, you kind of you forget that we were already here. So you kind of migrate into our ethnic group and think that we are just supposed to coddle to you. You get it? And so y'all do things that could indicate cultural differences, but when called out, we get these, when we talking about it, we get these bullying stories and this and that. You don't address what your people are doing. And I could get out of my feelings and point you to the government because your people migrate here to strengthen our government and our military, but conveniently we the bad guys and we the bullies and we this and that. How do you run to your bully? How do you join your bully's government? How do you join these places where your bully is and they say you're being bullied? What are you doing to us? You're saying no to bills that can repair our community, the same community you have your businesses in, and you're siphoning our money and then sending it home. You're marking boxes that don't indicate your ethnic group. Meanwhile, you have African immigrant things specific to y'all with funding attached. These are the things that we need to address because now Afro's right. It's a lot of talking going on, and y'all not bringing forth some solutions. And when I tell you we need you to vote a certain way that could benefit us all, especially foundational Black Americans, when it was our civil rights movement that eased Black immigration restriction, I met with a no. So I don't think y'all really want a repair. I think y'all are the ones with the victim mindset, right? Because you couldn't get it popping over there, but here you have it easy. Why? Because that shadow band said, this is your peak. But for us, we know we can do better, so it sounds like whining to you when we say, get out of our lane. I'll land.
All right. Source, thank you. We're going to have to, because there's a lot of people who want to come up, so I'm going to have to let people go ahead, and then I might take people down just to let certain people up. And I'm not saying I'm not going to let you up later, but I appreciate that. That was a good way to start the conversation off. That was a really good way to start the conversation off, actually. So thank you
Hello,
for that.
Afro Allight.
Hold on.
Hello.
Who sounds like ignorance and hate to people who will no longer benefit if I remain silent.
Hello.
Period.
Okay, hold on. Everybody's going to get a turn, but people can't cut in. All right. Because there were some people who were here before. So let's get to 20.
It's Tweety.
Tweety. Okay, my bad.
Hi, I am a copper-colored American Indian. I came up here to ask a question, and I'm way over 18, 21. I'm a grandmother. But anyways, I came up here to just ask a question about how this boycott all started. And I thought it was the AU and the Essence thing that had happened. but you had answered that. So I didn't want to just drop. So, but that was all I wanted to know. And then I just want to say to the gentleman, when it comes to, seeing stuff on television or whatever their excuses, my whole life I've seen Africans um, with big bellies and flies all around them, and just looking dirty. They showed from when I was a little girl back in the 70s. That's all I seen. And when I finally met an African in my early 30s, I never wanted to hand you a bag of rice. So I think that that's lazy, and it's just an excuse, and I'm tired of hearing it. I'm really tired of hearing it. But Afro Elite, thank you so very much for all that you do. I really appreciate you and Tariq, and I can't remember the other dude's name, but you guys are awesome. I love my FBA family, and thank you for letting me have the floor.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Those excuses and cop outs and stuff like that, we can't let that slide anymore. We just can't. At this grown age, we just can't. Because the thing is that y'all been using that excuse for like the last 20, 30 years. It would be one thing if at first we could kind of buy it because they send you guys videos and stuff like that. But now in the age of social media, where everybody got a cell phone and everybody got social media or access to social media, that excuse can't work anymore. It just can't. It can't. Let's get to Simon Platinum Class.
What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing cool. I really just came up here to bring some of the folks in the room so they can know.
You are a loser.
Shut. You see?
Afro delete.
Hold on,
Hey,
y'all just
hey,
stop. Y'all let him go. Let him go.
Let him go.
As mature. Go. What do you have to say?
Afro delete. You are a loser. That's what I want to say. If you think you have a boycott movement because you got 200 views on your TikTok live, you are absolutely deluded and you are absolute fool. That's what I want to say. And
That's all you have to say.
And you are an embarrassment to your family. You're corny as hell, and yeah, you're just a lame. Like, look at you. Just look at you. Like, you just made me laugh. Like, you don't even get me mad. I just look at you and laugh. You're just an embarrassment.
That's all you gotta say. You don't got anything else to say.
I'm gonna cuss you out in Yoruba as well. Shit.
If you're from Yoruba, why do you have a British accent?
Sir, why do you sound like you're in Paris?
Now, do y'all see this? Do y'all see this? Okay. All right. This is just verification. Thank you. All right. We don't need the Black Harry Potter up here, though.
Now, what's interesting, right? If we respond, right, that's going to be xenophobia, hatred, and all these other boogeyman words. The moment we respond, and this is a teachable moment because I want people to see that we're having a civil conversation. And the moment that we have a civil conversation, people want to say degenerate things. Then when we respond, they want to cry that we hate people. So this is a good teachable moment.
Hold on,
everybody can't be off the mic because there's a lot of background noise. But
where's the Africans in the chat that were supposed to be condemning that? I didn't see any language in the chat from Africans or whatever saying, "Yo, brother, they here just talking about their own ethnicity." I didn't see any of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't say nothing about that. Now, when we say, neither do Pan-Africanists, and I gotta say this, neither do Pan-Africanists, because when we get drugged, when we get disrespected, I didn't disrespect nobody, nobody, I have not disrespected anybody. He come up, Afro Elite or Delete or whatever, came up here and just kept going and going and going. Now, Pan-Africanists aren't gonna say anything to him, all right? They're not his community is not going to say anything to him. And then I say, well, dude, what you got a damn British accent. What are y'all doing over there? Y'all some of the softest niggas, period. Then it's going to be, oh, that's xenophobic. Let's be honest. Got a damn British accent. Ain't nobody take you serious. Nobody take no black man with a British accent serious. Now, if I said that, then I'm wrong for that. I'm wrong for that. You are not Prince Charles. They don't like you over there while you talking about I'm a lame. and they don't like you. They don't like Meghan Markle, and she trying her best to be white. Y'all are foolish. Now, if I said that, then I need to chill. I need to calm down. I need to stop being emotional, all of that stuff. That's what they would say. And we're having a civil conversation. This only goes to solidify what I'm saying. That these people don't want to talk it out. That these people don't want to have a civil conversation.
If you would really say that, one of us, foundational Black Americans, and anybody who could identify as such would say, Afro, calm down, you're doing too much. Two wrongs don't make it right. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
Fact. We check
and
ourselves.
right, to the detriment of ourselves, I believe, at times. Because some things deserve to be checked.
And if I can say this real quick, my bad. I don't, I never talk out the term Afro. I just want to say this one thing real quick. Notice when they say, well, that's just one. How come you blame it all for one? But notice that nobody condemned, nobody said nothing, nobody stepped in front and said, as an African, that's wrong. And so this is why I say, if you're complacent and you sit back and be quiet, and you allow the minority to continue to run rampant, and you sit back the quiet majority, well, you are just as guilty by not saying nothing. And I land.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And a lot of that is because they secretly agree. They might not all say it, but a lot of them subliminally, they agree, at least to a degree enough not to check them. But let's get to Simon. I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Now, I really just I came up here so that the family could know, that you was live and they could see me they could see your page. But that was interesting, and that's been happening a lot lately. Black Americans would be having a civil conversation, and then the truth triggers immigrants. It's triggering to them right now. Because they got this biased idea about us. And like Shadow Band made it clear, this is their peak. America is their peak. But what they're gonna learn is that America is a privilege. It's not your right. All right. America is not your right. All migrants in these chats, please understand. America is not your right. You don't have a right to be in the United States. Black Americans have a right to be in the United States. You have a privilege to be in the United States because of Black Americans. When you guys start allowing that to live and land properly, then maybe you'll start understanding the conversation. But until then, you're gonna be off code because y'all don't know what the code is. But I'll land, and I'm gonna go back into the comments. But yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, they don't. Excuse me. Let's get to basic.
Afro.
Thank you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I just want to say that what we're seeing is a bunch of people who are upset with FBA because they know once we delineate from them, we're basically cutting the water off because they won't have access to the things that we fought for. And when we fought for those things, we fought for the whole race of people who consider themselves to be black, or the people who started to consider themselves black when it started to benefit them. So now that we're taking an approach where we are prioritizing our ethnic group, now you see why they're upset, because they didn't have to get their hands dirty in order to reap the benefits of the work that our people put in. So that is the reason why you're seeing what you're seeing. And, it just brings out the hate. That's why you had this dude come up here, didn't have anything intelligent to say. All he was doing was trying to troll because he was in the comments trolling, spamming the comments for 20 minutes. Then he came up here, had a whole bunch of hateful stuff to say. And like you said, none of these Africans said a word, but they always get on the panel and say, oh, well, I'm not like that. That's not all of us. Yes, it is. It's the majority of y'all. The majority rules. That's how we operate. Majority rules. So if you sit by and you watch something happen and you're okay with it, then we're gonna treat you like you're an accomplice. That's just how it's gonna go. Because y'all have no problem generalizing us when it comes to the bad aspects of our community. We get judged by y'all. Y'all talk just like YT people. Y'all sit up here and call us all types of names based off stereotypes. And then you had an African who sat here and tried to make us believe that, oh, we believe these things because we saw it on TV. There is absolutely no way that I'm going. If y'all consider us your people like you claim, how are you going to say that YT people came and told you about your own people and you believed it? That makes no sense at all, because YT people actually mock Black Americans by saying we was kings, and the reason they say that is because they tried to feed us propaganda, but we fought back by diving deep into African history, and we started to bring out the positive things about Africans, the continent of Africa, and all the things that Africa has done in the past. That's how we dealt with it. And YT people decided to mock us, and they say we was kings because we used to talk about the old kingdoms and stuff in Africa. That's how we dealt with it. But y'all decided to started to sound just like YT people. That's the difference between us, and that's why we're delineating. And to be honest with you, there's really nothing that y'all can do at this point. Delineation is going to happen. It's going to go forward, and I'm so glad, because we've learned our lesson, and we're going to put action behind these words. And y'all are going to see, just remember these days of all this trolling that y'all are doing. Just remember this. Remember all the trolling. Remember it. Because when it's time for y'all to actually get out there and put in the work, don't look our way, because we're going to remember these days. That's all.
Yep, that's very true. That's very true. We got a lot of people who want to come up. I appreciate y'all being patient. Y'all just be patient. Y'all be patient. We'll let some people up. We'll let people up. All right. But when we let you up, wait your turn. That's all I'm saying. When we let you up, wait your turn. And he's very correct about that. Yeah, shout out to my brother Basic. He's very correct. Let's get to FBA Detroit.
Hello, my brother.
What's good, bro?
All right. I'm a foundational Black American. I am an African American. And I'm from Detroit. I live in Atlanta. And I come and voice my opinion about what I feel and what I think is going on between the Black Americans and the African immigrants. Last night I called onto a platform, and I announced myself as they asked me what was my ethnicity. I told them I was African American. And he said, well, why do you have FBA on your name? I told him, I said, listen, FBA stands for Foundational Black American. I said, if you look up the definition of Foundational Black American, it will tell you I am a direct descendant of an enslaved American, period. It doesn't, some of us believe that we are descendants of freedmen, and some of us believe that we are descendants of the enslaved Africans who were brought here by boat. We understand this as foundational Black Americans, that not all of us come from the same group of people, but we are the same group of people. We are part of that lineage of people who marched in the streets singing "We Shall Overcome." Martin Luther King is our ancestor. Harriet Tubman is our ancestor. You feel me? So we share the same history and everything. We just have different beliefs. And part of being an American is to be able to believe what you want to believe in. You aren't going to be able to change people's beliefs. But people believe that they are descendants of people who were already free here and just got caught up in the rapture of slavery during the time of slavery. You're not going to change what they believe. You understand? Just as well as I believe that my descendants were enslaved Africans, they believe that their descendants were enslaved people who were already here in America. Now, for them to feel like no Black people was here is a ridiculous thought. They have Noah, who built the ark back in the biblical days. All right. He built the ark back in the biblical days. You can't possibly believe that nobody else built a big boat and decided to travel across the sea between the biblical days and before Columbus came to America. Like, that's ridiculous.
Nobody was in just to say, except the Europeans. Exactly. The Europeans were the first people to actually leave their land. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. They
it makes no sense to think that,
but they made boats. All right.
Yeah, people made boats and people traveled the world. So once I began to talk, the brother, he started to mute me. And I realized that his whole aim was to dominate me and to dominate the conversation and to manipulate it and to try to ask me questions. He began to treat me as if I was playing a game of Jeopardy. And at that point, it was not a grown intellectual conversation. It was you trying to dominate the conversation to paint the picture that you wanted to paint, that we are all stupid, that we don't know anything, we are all uneducated. So I realized that that was what he was trying to do. And I went head on and left. So when I went and did my little research, and I'm going to try to make this quick, I went down to his page. I went all the way down his page. I'm talking about for a long time. So I seen where he went from maybe 100 followers. And then all of a sudden, when he made this first video bashing Black Americans, he went up to 10,000 followers. That quick.
Damn.
So I feel like if I was a rapper and I could say forget Jay-Z all day, and if the only people who heard me were the people that I went to school with and my family and friends, I wouldn't make an impact. But the minute Jay-Z starts to say forget me back one time, the whole world knows who I am. And I feel like we're giving these people a voice because this much attention has never been paid to African immigrants. They've never received this kind of attention. So I feel like they're fueling on that. They feel like, oh, I got this many followers now. I'm famous. I'm getting money from talking about Black Americans. So I'm going to come here to this country where I know that these people, they have, listen to these are facts. In 2019, they said it was 17.8 Black Americans that live below the poverty line. So if it's 17.8% of Black Americans that live below the poverty line, that means that 82.2% live above the poverty line. So there's plenty of Black Americans over here. There's over 80% of us over here that are rich or wealthy. So why would you want to come here and compare yourself to the 17% that are living poor? I could sell everything that I have today and move to Africa and say I'm doing better than these people that's already here. Anybody can move somewhere and compare themselves to poor people. You have places like Nigeria where they have a 40.1% poverty rate. These people are living 40% of them. You know what? 40% of Nigeria equals 83 million people. 17% of Black American equals 8 million people. So out of 48 million of us, there's 8 million of us living below the poverty line. But in Nigeria, just alone, there's 83 million people living below the poverty line. And the poverty line there is based on like $2.50. Something that if you were homeless in the United States of America, you can stand in front of a store and somebody would give you that within 5 minutes. They can't get that in a whole day. So for them to come here and compare themselves to our poor, the 17%, and ignore the 83% that are doing good, that are wealthy, that are rich, there's 1.8 million Black millionaires here. There's a little bit over 2 million African immigrants. It's almost a millionaire for every immigrant that's here. Why would you want to compare yourself to the 17% of poor people? Why would you want to use these food stamps and Section 8 as talking points? If we don't pay them no attention, if they don't talk about Black Americans, they won't have any way to entertain. They will become non-relevant. I feel like we need to work on us and say forget them. I think the biggest mistake that we're doing is even paying them any attention because the world is watching us. We are the Jay-Z. We're all over the football field, all over the basketball court, all over the we're everywhere. We're at every magazine, every radio, every TV, every newspaper. We're there. They aren't there. But what we're doing is we're the Jay-Z that's calling their name out.
The culture too.
That's one way of looking at it. Yeah, that's very true. That's the way of looking at it.
I think we should come up with the things that we need to work on. They made us aware of how people feel about us. Now we know. The secret is out. The secret is out. The skeleton is out the closet. We know that they don't care for us. I feel like us as Black Americans need to do better. I feel like we need to unite, come up with a plan. The FBA is a good title for us. I love it. But some people get up here and they be very ignorant with it. They will tell me that, oh, you're not African. You can't say we're not African. Some of us do believe that we come from African ancestry. So we need to get on the same page with this, and then we need to get that stamped, because right now FBA is just a title between us. It's not on any paper. It's not on any documents.
Yeah, and we're working on that. Well, I do know people who are actually working on that to get that, verified as a legitimate like documentation of people. So we are working on that. And
I feel like
do
that's
agree
more
that as far as the
important.
haters and stuff, this only goes to reinforce what we're doing and propel exactly what we're doing. So, but we shouldn't be hyper focused on what they think. We should be focused on what we're doing. But I do,
Exactly.
you can't walk and chew gum, I feel, at the same time. Because this is important, because this problem has been gone unaddressed. We've been allowing this problem to go unaddressed, and these people are under the rug creating problems and obstacles. So that's why
They
we
are.
have to deliberately delineate, which is why that's up there. We got to economically keep our money in our community. We got to do these things, because this problem, like I said, has gone unaddressed for way too long.
I agree with you, my brother. I was just saying, like, I see a lot of us, we pay them attention. Like they've been the topic of everybody's dinner table for like the last 2 months. And it's just like, at some point, I feel like we just need to cut them off, leave them alone, keep them out of the conversation, let them talk about us while we do about us.
Okay.
Interject. I was in the same page last night.
Hold on. There's a couple other people. I'm gonna let you go ahead. The same. Who ran that page?
A dude named, I think his name is Gumby or something like that. I screenshot his picture. I can check out.
Gumby.
I can sign off, and then I'll come back in the comments and put his name up. I screenshot the platform.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's cool.
Guys, I just want to address a few comments really fast. So when you say we only talk about Africans, you didn't come to the BET Live. When I really had Ish on the panel, she's a musician historian, a music historian, and she answered questions about hip hop and other cultural genres, right? So y'all only pay attention to the lives that you want to pay attention to. You don't pay attention to the other stuff. And even then, we probably had somebody trolling us. As far as my fellow FBA who feel that we shouldn't continue to have these talks with people, I get it. But you have to understand, this is the first step to social justice activism, right? We use the internet as a tool so we could call awareness to the issues that we have, and then we sort of network with those who align with the personal purposes we have, because there's 43 million of us. And then we have the activists,
48.
and you can become an activist. Thank you. And you go with your group, and you activate. But this is the first step to awareness, and this is a very good platform to have this discussion. It's not.
I want y'all to understand.
Not
I wasn't saying that y'all shouldn't talk about them.
I was addressing the comments. It's just some comments I will choose to speak to because.
But you misunderstood me.
More than one.
You
Sir,
misunderstood
I wasn't
me.
addressing you though.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry then. I'm sorry.
Off the comments.
But
So
yeah.
FBA, this is just the first step to awareness. That's all. Go ahead, Afro.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep the room flowing. This is necessary. What we're doing is necessary, and we can't let up.
Yeah, I wasn't saying it wasn't, brother. I was. This is a very good platform. Every time I come on here, it's the most respectful. You let people get everything out. You don't interrupt people. I love this platform right here. Keep it going, brother.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put that name in the comments right now.
Yeah. Let me know exactly who that is, because I be seeing some of these lives and stuff like that.
I'm dropping out. I'm signing off.
I really want to comment on this, brother Afro.
All right, go ahead, real quick, and then we're gonna.
Yeah, I was in that room last night with those pseudo armchair scholars, man. It's like what they're trying to say is that they don't want to believe in the outer Africa theory. They're saying that the theory is a theory of basically, y'all call them YT, I call them Lilliputians. They're saying it's a theory of the Lilliputians. They're saying because of the Darwin and the Lilliputians coming up with this theory, it is trying to Africanize the whole world. So it broke down after all me and them going through. Cause I was there with the brother who from Detroit. I was there with him last night. You should remember seeing my moniker. They were going through the whole trying to beat you down, like he said, and try to hit you with pseudoscience, right? To go right back to circle around to the fact to say that the original man was black. But their whole get up is he ain't necessarily got to be from Africa, or he could be from America, or he could be Asiatic. I said, or he could just be from what they call one time Pangaea, and it might be in the region of Africa, because one time the world was Pangaea. So, I mean, these guys were basically trying to say that because the Darwin and the Lilliputians theory of everybody being out of Africa, you know what I'm saying, that they're not African, and they think that's a false theory because it comes from so-called YT. But they acknowledge the fact that, because I was saying the whole world has, if you want to say Africoid or black DNA, don't matter who it is, a white person, this person, that person, you know what I mean? Because they were trying to break me down. They were trying to tell me who the hell I was. I broke down, like he said, when you come into the room, they ask you who you are, where you from. I broke down from where I'm from on my mama's side and my daddy's side. You know what I'm saying? As far as what county and city my mom come from, the same with my dad. And these people try to tell me that the Indian tribes that's on both sides of my parents, along with me knowing that there is an Africoid side because of the blackness that's just direct on me, you know what I mean? Because you see me, you see a black man because of my skin tone. But they're telling me that, oh, well, you're from Africa. And I'm showing them, no, I'm an FBA. How can I be from Africa when I just show you where I was from? But yet and still they're trying to say the original man is black. So if the original man is black, whether I told him he's from Africa or he was in America or wherever he came from, that original man seed the whole world. So that means everybody has that original man's DNA in him, whether you're white, black, this and that, the other. So these people were just some dismissive clowns, you know, as well. I had another room I was in. They were talking about how because they pay taxes, that they had the right to speak on foundational Black Americans issues, whether it's in favor or non-favor. And I was in there, man, I was going against 5 people, had to get high in the voice and, you know, real bodacious. I'm a DC brother, you know what I'm saying? I'm right. I met you at the reparations rally, the last one we had. We was the ones on the side selling the T-shirts and stuff. And so, I mean, they were trying to say that because they pay taxes, they have the right to speak on our issues. Because I says, no, I says, you have the right to speak on it if you are trying to be in support. But if you're not in support, then why would you want to be as a buffer for the Lilliputian society? And then we went into a whole big argument. So that's basically what's going on. They just want to, basically these people are here to be, what's the word? Stirring confusers, agitators. They're just here to try to, like the brother said, to keep the mix up so we can keep their names in our mouths at our dinner tables. When I was trying to show them that, look, I don't mind what your political aspirations is, but how does it look like if we as foundational Americans go to your homeland and involve ourselves in your politics and work against maybe say what you and your communities are trying to fight for you and your people? I said, you will stone us out, just like those brothers who were Hebrew Israelites went over into the Congo and was telling them that their Jesus was black. As soon as they said their Jesus was black, those people started stoning them. This just happened like a couple of months ago. So I'm like, you know, here y'all don't even want to accept the fact that your whole existence is blackness. You so into the little white Putians as your God, you stone brothers that came from America preaching about your blackness. And so, you know, they're here to be agitators, man. It's another word they got for it, man. But, you know, that's really what's going on, man. These people are here to just try to keep confusing and to keep stirring confusion. And they don't want us to refocus on what we're doing. This is why they keep interjecting. I was telling them, you all like to center yourselves. You all love to center yourselves in what we're dealing with. We're dealing with family business right now. We ain't got time to worry about what's going on in Afghanistan and all that. So I'm going to land my plane there, brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And yeah, real talk, real talk. Let's be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Black people were everywhere, and that's a thing that's already been established. That's a thing that's been well established before. I don't now all of a sudden, because we're acknowledging that now all of a sudden it's a thing of no, we weren't, and that's already scientifically proven that we were. So that argument has already been debunked. The other argument, the fact that, like you said, we could not go anywhere else in the world, okay, and talk about, well, because I pay taxes, or because I'm a citizen of this nation, I get to go against what the natives of this nation wishes. Okay, I get to go against not just what's in their best interest. I get to do what's in my best interest in spite of what's in their best interest, and they should accept that because I'm a citizen of the. They would never. You would never get that close. You would never get that close with anybody else.
Our interest now is about reparations right now, and it's got a lot to do with a high dollar value. So now everybody, like the brother Tariq and you both be saying, everybody want to try to find a kinship, some type of way to tie themselves in. See, there go our tethering.
Yep. All right, that's true. That's true. But thank you. We got some more people who need to come up. Let's get to Buki.
Hello,
How you doing?
everybody. Thank you for having me on this panel. My name is Bukola. I'm a Nigerian living in Canada.
Okay.
And I understand. You want, everybody, you want to be termed as Black American and not African American.
Yeah.
Because here in Canada,
I'm goofing under Shavu. I'm gifting under Shavu page, just so you know.
Okay, appreciate you, Halo.
so here in Canada, as an immigrant, I'm a citizen of Canada and I'm an African Canadian. And here in Canada, yeah, there are Black people here that they're fundamental people that are here before us, and they're Black Canadians. They're not referred to as African Canadians. And also, like in UK, Black British, they never say they are African British. So I understand that about the delineation, but like what I don't understand is the African boycott. Like, if you don't want to be referred as African American, I think it should be towards, whatever you want them to be termed you as Black American, it should be towards the government, not us African. Because
Do you think that the boycott is because we don't want to be called African American?
I don't know. That's why I just saw like what she's breathing there and kind of like
Well, let me
why
get
it's like
to the two
that.
things you said. Let me get to the two things you said. Exactly.
Yeah.
When you go anywhere else in the world, whether you go to the UK, whether you go to Canada, whether you go to the Caribbean, whether you go anywhere else in the world, they will acknowledge your blackness as your race,
Yeah.
but they will also acknowledge your nationhood. They will also acknowledge you as whatever nation of origin that you come from, which is why you don't hear nobody refer to Jamaicans as African Jamaicans or African Haitians. Okay, you don't hear them say that. Okay, you don't hear people say I'm an African Trinidadian. You don't hear people say those things, but you hear people say that with us. And when we say, well, no, we should acknowledge our nationhood in America because we did build this country. We've been here for hundreds of years, and our nationhood should be respected no less than everybody else. It's always this thing of, well, no, you guys aren't really from here. You guys really don't belong here. You guys really belong in Africa. Okay. Even though we built the country, and nobody can deny we built the country because the receipts are we built the country. Afro-Jamaican is a term. Afro-Jamaican and African Jamaican is not a thing. When people refer to people as Jamaican people, please don't gaslight and act like we're dumb and act like we don't know. Please don't do that. No,
I
I'm
did.
I'm talking to people in the
Oh,
chat room because people
okay,
are like, people do
okay,
say Afro Jamaican. No,
okay.
okay. When people hear the word Jamaican, people automatically think black. Okay. Unfortunately, they did that with Kamala Harris. They automatically think black, and nobody says, "Well, you're not really a Jamaican. You're really an African." Nobody does that to Jamaicans. Nobody does that to Haitians. They do that to us.
Right.
Okay, and you all are playing these games as if they have not lived here for generations and if we have not gone over there. All right, so
I'm
all of this
no.
1
lying,
minute,
the fact
Bookie.
that you
1
all
moment,
lie
please.
so damn much is why we're in this situation right now.
Afro
No,
Lee, can I take
what?
1 minute, Bookie? 1 minute. I want to piggyback
Okay.
off of you. Afro, anything besides Afro American is fairly new. I
Yes.
gotta tell you, right? I gotta tell you. So when we say, because Black Americans, when we wanted y'all here, when we wanted to interact with y'all, when we wanted to build community with y'all, we said, oh, okay, you must be black too, right? And they say, no, I'm Jamaican. They ain't never said Afro Jamaican. That didn't become a thing until recently, okay? And the Afro Latinos started that first. And then everybody else jumped on board with that. But that's because we went around telling them they were black, they were like us, and they were like, no, we're Jamaican, we're Haitian, we're Puerto Rican, we're this, we're that. So when you say Afro Jamaican, please know I'm from a time y'all wasn't saying that here. Y'all wasn't.
I
And
wasn't
even
talking
if it
about.
is, y'all don't try to tell,
I said
y'all
I
do not, hold
understand
on.
that.
Let me just highlight that point. Nobody tries to make the argument to Jamaican people. Y'all just had, and what's funny is yesterday was Jamaican Independence Day, if y'all didn't know that. Okay, and nobody tried to spew the narrative to Jamaican people that they don't really belong in Jamaica. Nobody tries to do that. When it's Haitian Flag Day, nobody tries to say, well, y'all don't really belong in Haiti. Do you guys? I mean, not y'all. I mean, you're kind of Haitian, but you don't really belong there. Nobody tries to strip them of their Haitian lineage or of their Jamaican lineage. They can respect their own lineage. Everybody respects everybody else's lineage but us. We're the only people who built the country that everybody's fleeing to and get told that we are the only ones, apparently to y'all, who don't belong here. So we're not doing that no more.
But
But let me get to
I
your
just
second
believe
point. Let me
like
get to your
the
second point.
I
Buki, let me get to your second
okay,
point.
okay.
The reason why this is going on, is because of the fact that we're dealing with problematic people. Ultimately, and I'm putting it shortly, we're dealing with problematic people from the diaspora. Are all of them problematic? Nobody's saying that. But we are dealing with a very damaging number of problematic people from the diaspora, and it gets ignored. Okay, and is being ignored for too long, and the damage they're causing, whether that's economically, socially, or politically, is too severe. And now we're trying to push the needle forward, and we have to thin the herd. Okay, so we got to get some straightening among our ranks. That's what we're doing. That's essentially what we're doing. Okay, because this is going to be the necessary wake-up call that brings about change. That's the reason this is all here. All right, this is not necessarily here because we quote unquote want to be delineated or we want to be recognized as something different. This is because of a problematic pattern, not one or two, but a pattern of problematic behaviors that we have been tolerating here that wouldn't be tolerated from us if we went anywhere else. So this is why this is that. All right.
There can I understand that. But there could be a solution instead of the African boycott. I understand the two highlights you put there, but the African boycott is just like if you say you don't want to be referred to as African American, even we can support you in that. Okay, they deserve to be called Black American, not African American.
What?
But
Oh, okay. Let me ask you this. Okay, because every time we do
yeah,
something, and let me say something. We've
Okay.
been dealing with this, and this is why this has gone on ignored, because we've been dealing with this with YT people for generations. Every time we have done something, from the civil rights movement to Reconstruction to the modern day protests, right? Every time we do anything to voice our grievance, to try to bring about change, it's always told that we're doing too much. Okay, whether that's kneeling during the anthem, that's too much. Whether that's saying hands up, don't shoot, that's too much. Whether that's protesting in the street, that's too much. Whether that's a sit-in, that's too much. A boycott, that's too much. Every single time we do something that brings about change, we always get told we are doing too much. That's the thing.
But
So
African
now,
people always support you in that. Even Black American.
stop. Okay. Because now we're at this point where now we're saying, okay, well, now we're going to go with the boycott. And now people are saying, okay, well, that's too much. That's too much. Every time we do something, and when we say something, people say we're it's not serious and we need to let it go and ignore it. All right. And now when we do something, people keep saying it's too much. So let me ask you this question. What do you think our response should be? If this is too far, what should our response be?
Can I talk right now?
Yes, go ahead.
But when the Black Lives Matter happened, it's all over the world.
Okay, well,
Even the African people do that.
I
No, I'm
understand,
not.
ma'am, hold on. I understand that. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about our issue with the boycott. And the reason why, and I'm gonna let you speak, but I don't want you to derail the conversation to that, because that's not really what the conversation was about. All right. I was just bringing up an example of how we constantly get gaslit. All right. But what do you think we should do to address the disrespect and the agent of chaos behavior that we're seeing, the problematic behavior that we're seeing from the diaspora? What should we do?
I think there should be a platform where both parties should talk about it and solution to solve all these matters. It's not something that can be done as soon as possible, but step by step, it's gonna happen. It's not something that's maybe it can take like few months. It might take a year or something, and people will understand that this is where you guys are coming from.
Okay, let me ask you a
But
question.
I just believe like the boycott is just not the solution. That's
Okay.
just it.
Okay, and that's fair. Let me ask you a
That's your
question. Let
opinion.
me ask you one question. If we were in Nigeria and we were displaying the same problematic behaviors that we're talking about, if we were in Nigeria saying that y'all don't deserve reparations for colonialism, if we were in Nigeria talking about how y'all lazy, y'all poor, y'all uneducated, y'all got bad culture, if we were in Nigeria doing the things that we have them doing here, do you think their response would be to consistently talk it out indefinitely? What do you think the Nigerian
Of course,
people would do?
of course. I
Okay.
mean,
The Nigerian people would have a much different response than what we're having. A much more
if
severe
you
and
have a
violent response than what we're having. All right? That's the truth, because we know what's going on in Nigeria.
representative
Ma'am,
there. I mean, if you're in Nigeria, there are people that are
no.
representing
No,
America there.
ma'am. No, first off, in Africa,
Huh?
all throughout Africa, and this is the thing, we know about geopolitics more than
It's
you
not
all
gonna be
might think.
violent.
Hold on.
No, I
We
don't
know
think
for a
so.
fact, ma'am, we know for a fact, and we're going to have to wrap this up and move on. We know for a fact that you all in Africa, you do not tolerate immigrants flooding in your communities just doing what they want to do. You all do not tolerate that. anywhere in Africa. And there's massive protests going on all throughout Africa right now in 2025 because of that, because you guys do not tolerate that. Okay, and they don't tolerate that in the Caribbean. But there, yep, and somebody's saying that's a lie, and we see the protests going on social media. Okay, they don't tolerate that in Africa or the Caribbean, but we're told that we gotta, I guess, negotiate a level of respect from you all. Okay, we have to negotiate a level of respect, that we're not asking for a violent solution to anything. But now we got to have some representative to essentially get y'all to fall in line and act like y'all got some sense, when y'all wouldn't even have tolerated it getting to this level in your homelands. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to have a different standard than you all would have if it was your homeland, because that's not mutual respect. You understand? And every time we say, okay, well, what's the solution? It's always talk and talk and talk and talk. Right now we're having a talk, but the talk is also met with equal action. So, but thank you. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's get to Ula Walsi, whatever. I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
I think I was next, bro. Oh, never mind.
Oh, okay. Marsh, you go. Then we'll go to Ula Walsi.
Was after foundational.
Okay, all right. So the one thing is, I find it really interesting how people come online and pump their chest and say, we don't care that y'all boycotting, we don't care, we don't care, we don't care. And that's the main thing that comes up. That lady didn't care. She didn't care about nothing you was talking about. Her main goal was to talk about the boycott.
Mm-hmm.
You done explained it down the line and let it be known everything, and really went in depth. And all she cared about was the boycott, because they understand how powerful the boycott is, right? They
Yep.
understand what the boycott will do, right? They come online and pump their chest, but they know what's going to happen. There will be a lot of people outside. But again, my thing is, when it comes down to it, she want to know why are people boycotting. It's bigger than feelings. There's 4 pillars to this. There's social, which the feelings and the things that's being said. There's political, where their people are being put in political positions of power and undermining our people on every level. There's economic, where they are coming into our communities, taking our resources and separating away from us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Little Ghana in the Bronx, Little Senegal in Harlem,
Mm-hmm.
Africatown in Philly, Little Congo in PA, little Ethiopia in DC, and all throughout the 50 states, they are separating away from us and hiring their own people. They're not going to no black America and say, hey, you want a job? When we have a business, we hire everybody, Jamaican, African, Haitian, but they separate away from us. And so this is why it's not that we going online to try to promote them. The brother said we trying to promote them. He got a point. But it's more so to bring awareness to our people, because we got a lot of soft and sweet kumbaya black Americans that's still on the MLK and not understanding that is saying that if it's not broke, don't fix it. But the problem is, it's been broken for 65 years. We've been pouring our empty cups into other people for the last 65 years. And now it's time for us to, for the first time in 65 years, pour into our own cups.
Yes.
And that's the problem. So what they want to do is, our people, they want to still kumbaya, and they think it's all kumbaya, while these people are separating away from us and creating their own communities, and then lying to their face and telling them we all one, we all unity. I call it social unity, economic warfare. Again, they're called social unity, economic warfare. So socially, it's all good, it's all love. What's up, my brother? My brother, how you doing? But economically, my people are being economically destroyed because they want to be kumbaya, soft and sweet, and not understanding these people are economically destroying them. They'll tell you straight up, I'm here for opportunities. I'm here for a better life. I'm here for me, 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 me. They do not care about you. They do not care about your social status. They do not care about the things that's going on systematically. They do not care about any of these things. They are here for them and themselves. The fastest way they can make money, the fastest way they can get it. If they mean stepping on your neck, they're going to do it, right? And we see that with Austin Chingy of Michigan, who was running for governor. Instead of focusing on how he can go and help his community, his first order of business was to side with the YT and say, I'm going to remove Black History Month, right, to appease the YT people, right? When we look at Ann Hill Bond, she put her child in the reparations meeting to destroy it, and she's part of the reparations task force. And I can go down the line of all the, all the immigrant class that undermined our people. So again, this is bigger than words. This is bigger than I don't like the way you walk. I don't like the way you talk. You walk a little different. This is 5 pillars to this, 4 pillars to this. And so we got to start waking. My thing is with them, we want y'all to be honest. Stop this. Let's unity. We all one. We all black. First of all, if it was we all black, there wouldn't be what's going on in the Congo with M23 unaliving people and Paul Kagame and Felix of the DRC to the point where he had to beg Donald Trump not once, beg Donald Trump not twice, but beg Donald Trump 3 times on the hands and knees to come save a YT man, by the way, to come save him from another African. Where's the we all black then? Where's the we's all black in Sudan? Where's the we's all black in Ethiopia with the civil war with the Tigray? Where's the we's all black when it come down to the South Africans kicking out the Nigerians? Where's the we's all black with the enslaved kids in Ghana that's being put in water to go do things? Where's the we's all black with in Ghana where they're kicking out the Nigerians? But the only time it's we's all black is when they want to economically utilize our money and manipulate our people or emotionally decide with them and tell them that it's unity, but it's not real unity. It's social unity, economic warfare. It's no hard feelings. It's no hate. I have no hate in my heart for nobody. It's all love. But one thing I'm not going to do is allow you to manipulate. Now, what they're doing right now, the new trick bag, they made $5 billion off the backs of our people with Ghana, and they turned Ghana from what it was to Miami 2.0 off the backs of our people with $5 billion plus, and that's what's counted for. That's not what the people are spending with the native Africans. So we could add multiple billions on top of that. So now Benin is doing the party promoter thing where they hiring celebrities to come out and the celebrities come out and promote to us. Right? That's the main goal while she dancing around doing it. This is a promo. If you ever party promote, you know a party promotion when you see it. Right? This is the same framework, right? Where you get celebrities, get people excited, and get people to go out there. They're selling you a culture. You already got a culture, but they're selling you a culture in return for your money. That's what they're doing. This is why all of a sudden they got a year return Benin. They got a year return Sierra Leone. And I just saw Liberia said, welcome Black Americans. So all of these year returns all of a sudden because they want your $1.9 to $2.6 trillion. And I just need them to be honest. If they be honest, we have no issues. Just be honest. Listen, let's do trade or I'm here to make my bag and be honest. Stop faking like you want to be unified, like we all black, and just to manipulate my people, to be side by side while you economically destroying my people. No, we want Black American owned business and shop at Black American owned businesses only. Y'all been doing it for the last 50 plus years. Y'all been making your own communities, hiring your own people, and separating yourselves away from us. And the first time we say we want to do the same thing, now we xenophobic, hatred, and all these boogeyman names, now that we want to do the same thing. The same thing y'all been doing when y'all separated. I can't go to Jamaican store and say, hey, can I get a job? I'm doing very well, by the way. I don't need one. I can't go to African spot. I challenge a Black American, go to African spot in Lodge and see if you can get a job. They gonna look at you like, nah, sorry, we're not hiring. So let's stop. My thing is, let's stop playing. Be honest. You coming here because you coming from wherever you come from, where either it's war torn or whatever, and you coming here to make it back for your people and your tribe. And if people were more honest and upfront about it, then there'll be no issues. But the fact that you guys are manipulating, that's why my energy is the way it is. Because y'all manipulating my people, and I refuse to have my people manipulated. Because my people are the most loving people in the world. When you see the definition of love in the dictionary, you see our people in the dictionary. And people know that. They've been studying us for 65 years. So they know what the pain points are. They know how to get it. And that's how Ghana was in debt, actually, with China in 2016. And then all of a sudden, Black Americans, come on now. We feel your pain. We feel, and have my people go out there because they felt the emotions behind it. So again, that's all it is. And excuse my energy. I'm on wartime energy, warrior energy right now because I really don't like the gaslighting. I really don't like the fact that people are trying to manipulate my people. I really don't like the fact that people are trying to act like they don't know what's going on, act like it's just feelings and people jealous. We have nothing to be jealous of. We are the richest Black people on earth. 1.9 to $2.6 trillion. We do 3/4 or greater than the continent at 2.86 trillion and with 1.5 billion people. And we only 48 million people. What do we got to be jealous of? We only 17.9. We only 17.9% in poverty. The rest is middle to upper class. We are doing very well.
Wait, can Marshall, One minute, niggas. Can you tell us, because you made a video, right, about the effect of the boycott. Can you tell us what you found in those shops? Because people think it's just a day and it was not effective. What did you find,
Yes.
Marshall?
So my video is actually going crazy right now. It's a lot of it's a lot of speculation too. So I was actually going to get something to eat. I was going to get something to eat. I was in New York, and I saw three African shops on the way, and on the way to get something to eat. I got my food. I said it's empty. I saw it was empty. I said I'm gonna get it on the way back. I recorded. I happened to catch one of them, and it was totally empty. Nobody in it but the workers in the back. I did a little quick recording shot, and I went about my business because again, I wasn't out there to go hunt and look for African shops. I'm on my way to live my good, wealthy life. But I seen it on the way there, and I said I'm gonna record this because we had a lot of people antagonizing our people. Day one, they was like, "What happened? I thought y'all was boycotting. How that boycotting going? How's it going? Right?" And not understand how boycotts work. It's not a 1 day thing, right? And then you had the whole Nadine braiding shop. They were trying to be funny August 1st and showing it. So everybody being funny, and there's a lot of degenerate things being said. Well, we know y'all ain't gonna last. Y'all be back in a couple of days. And also, y'all can't do Starbucks. Y'all not going. So everybody being funny. So I said, all right, I'm gonna record the fact that my people are standing on business, and which we are. And the comments are saying all throughout the states we standing on business. And so I recorded that, and now people are speculating. Well, you came in the morning. I was in the afternoon. It was open. Right? You came in the morning. Well, you came late at night. Well, that's AI. All kinds of excuses. Because you know why? People are so used to manipulating my people, and they so used to my people love that they can't fathom the fact that we're going to stand on business because they used to manipulating my people love and the love that they got for melanated people in general. So that's why they don't believe it, because it's manipulation. So yeah, it was three African shops, super empty. Super empty.
Thank you, Marshall. I want to call attention to the fact we have 364 people in the chat. Please get the likes up. Afro Elite should be at least 60K likes right now. So power tap the screen as you listen to the discussion continue. Go ahead, Afro.
Oh, can I
All
say
right.
something?
This is a hold on. We're almost. Let's get to Ulu. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Ulu. I'm sorry, Ulu.
Yes, my name is Oluwaseyi.
Oluwaseyi. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Where are you
I,
from?
Nigeria.
Okay.
But I've been
Have you spoken on our platforms before? I vaguely remember you.
maybe, but I've been
Okay.
living in the States for about 30 years now. So I came in '96. So
Okay.
um, and I travel back and forth all over the world. But again, I have a few things to say. So the first thing is the notion that African Americans are nobody. You guys are this and that. Everybody knows United States is based on white people and black Americans. That's it. That's the foundation of this country. Yes, the native Indians were there and all that, but that's the foundation of this country. Nobody is taking that away from you. So the fear that Africans are trying to manipulate you, the laws are there. It's the laws of the land. If the laws of the land is still effective till today, there's nothing Africans can do to overshadow you guys. Now, another thing is about immigration. Immigration is here to stay. Whether it's through Trump administration trying to streamline things, try to make sure that Africans do not come into the States the way we used to come in, after 4 years, that will vanish. Again, whoever comes into power will restructure things because of the fact that when Africans come here, we started having kids here. Our kids they're not even naturally born. They're nationals of this country. I have a child. I have a daughter by a French woman, and we're here in the DMV area. So what I'm saying is when my daughter goes out there, the only difference is her last name. People will know through her last name. She looks just like Beyonce, whatever. She's so light skinned. So what am I saying here? When fight,
Be a colorist with your statement now. Go ahead. You could leave all the featurism out. Go
no,
ahead,
but
sir.
again,
Go
I'm just
ahead,
trying to
sir.
let you know that
Last name would have sufficed. But go
but
ahead,
please,
continue.
but please let me talk, because you guys talk and I'm just trying to get into details of everything, and I'm gonna be short at the same time.
Definitely
So now
colorism.
the boycott. When you say you're gonna boycott African businesses based on the disrespect, there's no one. You haven't mentioned one point of disrespect that it's so out there. Because I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Asians, the Chinese people, they have their salons and things like that. They have their nail salons. They don't like black Americans. I've
We know
seen
that.
videos. I've seen
Okay, hold on, let him
videos.
go.
I've seen videos. These are not speculations. I've seen videos whereby they're arguing about payments, whereby they're running after customers in the parking lot, but you don't use the same energy with them.
It's
Unfortunately,
a lie.
Hold
unfortunately,
on.
unfortunately, you're going with the weakest link, thinking that Africa is poor. The reason why we came here is because of the opportunities that are here, which is true. There are plenty of opportunities here, but at the same time, it's all about the foreign exchange. The vast majority of people that come to the United States are here because of the economy. Now, how did the economy get here? The economy got here because of immigrants, whether you like it or not, because of immigrants coming into the United States, opening up a business,
Okay,
working as hard as you
misinformation. I'm
guys.
gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you. I'm a
You cannot
mod.
stop me. You cannot
Hold
stop me
on,
because
hold on.
you have
I'm
your
a
own.
mod. I'm a mod, and you're spreading misinformation. The economy was kicked off of the backs of my ancestors. We were the first body sold on Wall Street, the first commodity. The stolen wealth, the difference in wage gap between us and white tea, because I don't care about a buffer, is stolen wealth based off of my ancestors' enslavement in this land. And the free people, because they didn't have it easy either, honey. Okay? It was off of my lineage, sir. It's not immigrants. Let's start there. And New York Life, JP Chase, and all these other institutions admitted they still benefit from slavery of my ancestors. So watch your talking points, because I ain't going to allow that to fly. I land. Continue.
You see what I'm saying? You cannot do this to Africans that are coming to your platform. Let them finish. Then you can counterject what I'm
Yeah, but when
saying.
it's misinformation, sir, that
No, it's
you
not
gotta process.
misinformation.
It
The
is.
misinformation is all about what you want to believe. Like it's there. Like right now, the most country that is in debt is United States because of the
That's a
fact
lie.
that oh my God, like what are you
Yo,
talking
everybody
about?
gotta stop. Stop. I'm
Like I'm
gonna be
talking.
honest. You've been waiting. You have been waiting, but I am gonna, because you've been saying a lot, and I want to
No,
respond to
no,
what
no,
you're
no, no.
saying
And
and
I
be
know you're
fair.
gonna
So
do
I'm gonna
this.
let you
I know
land.
you're gonna do this. I know you guys are gonna do this.
Okay,
Because,
sir. There's several people who also want to speak who haven't
but you guys
spoken
will
yet.
be talking for good 10
Can you
minutes.
please
Okay,
land
I'm letting you speak.
your
Calm
spirit
down.
plane?
I am
You guys have been talking for 10 minutes per
calm
person.
down. I'm letting you speak. All right. Nobody's cutting you off right now. I'm letting you speak, but I am going to have to say you are going to have to, conclude to your statement. You are going to have to land a plane, because I would like to respond to what you have to say. And I would like us to have a dialogue over what you just said. So I'm going to let you land. The same way I've done with everybody else. I've interjected with other people as well too. So I'm here to let you land. Okay, you can unmute yourself.
All right. So what I'm saying is this: the country is huge. Several opportunities. Black Americans, white, you guys are the foundation of this country. But make no mistake about it. Just like any other countries, there are flaws. What you're bringing up right now, to me, in the outside world, when I go through the DMV area, I don't see this. And I've been around here for a long period of time. everyone is doing their businesses. And again, most Africans that come to the United States, I don't know about the rest of Africans, but most West Africans, we go to school. So when you talk about businesses, boycotting businesses, it's not going to affect us. I'm being real. You know, they're doctors. I'm in the medical field. So I go about my business. I make my money. I go back home. And I want to shop with whoever I want to shop with. And that's it. So again, this boycott, let's see how it's going to span out. It's going to pan out.
Let me say something. Let me say something now. Okay. Are you okay?
Absolutely.
All right, then. Here's the thing. You guys are saying that out of fear and making it seem like this is not going to have no type of triple down effect, and it will. All right. We know for a fact that there is a lot of independent owned businesses that you all rely on for income. All of you all are not doctors. Okay. Because Asians can make that same argument. If we say we're going to boycott the Asian stores or whatever, they can be all like, well, we're doctors, so we don't care. No, they do care. Another thing you brought up, we don't have this energy when it comes to anybody else. That's actually very incorrect. There has been several Asian businesses that's been shut down, completely shut down, never to reopen again because of disrespect of Black Americans. Okay. Other immigrant restaurants that's been shut down, never to open again because of that. Target is going through a huge, massive boycott right now, today in 2025, because of Black Americans. All right. Because of the boycott that we are leading of that. So we're not going to sit up there and every time it's time to address you all's faults, you all try to divert that energy and say, well, let's focus on something else. No, it's time to focus on you. Don't worry about what we got going on with the Asians, because when we say we're going to boycott the Asians, the difference between them and y'all is that I don't see a bunch of Asians puffing their chest out saying, I dare you. Asians didn't do that. Anytime we say, you know what, we're going to boycott Asian businesses, Asians said, hey, guys, I'm sorry. It was the Africans who said, do it now. It was the Africans who dared it on. It was the Africans who said, are y'all going to boycott Afro beats? Y'all going to boycott shea butter? Y'all going to boycott all of these other things? It was the Africans who was testing our bluff about it. All right.
I don't see that.
No,
bro.
well, I saw
saw
it, and this is how a lot of people even got introduced to the boycott in the first place. So don't worry about what they got going on, because we're handling them accordingly. But right now, we're handling you all. And that's the thing. The problem is, you said you're Nigerian. This issue, just like I was telling that to the other Nigerian, this issue would not exist if it was the other way around. And you know that. You know that. Y'all don't even let y'all tribes have a damn civil disagreement. And we're supposed to let foreigners come in here and then run amok and do what they want to do. And y'all don't even let people of the same nation of a different tribe have different disagreements without it turning into a damn war zone. All right.
Yeah,
So we're not the so stop. We are brother. We understand what goes on in Africa. We understand that what goes on in Africa. All right. So we know for a fact that you guys don't tolerate the things that you guys are telling us we need to tolerate. And we're not going to sit up there and live by this double standard of you guys' convenience. We're not going to do that. Everybody else has a barrier, okay, and a standard of respect that everybody else must uphold except us. We're the only people who don't have a standard of respect, all right, that people must follow, and that's going to stop. And you're saying the boycott's not going to affect you? It is, because I recognize you. You've been with us before, and it's going to play some massive effect, and we're seeing that right now.
I don't see the disrespect.
You're saying you don't see the disrespect, and we stop it. I didn't even know it was you, Marsh. And we keep showing you receipts. We keep showing receipts of disrespect. Okay, we keep showing receipts of other people from the diaspora going into political positions, blocking reparations. Okay, time and time and time again, we see podcasts of Nigerians being all like, man, we come over here with $5 and we doing better than everybody else. We can buy up the whole hood. We see scholarships where we have African immigrants who get to leapfrog us when it comes to benefits, scholarships, DEI, affirmative action, all of this stuff. Incentives and programs that were made based off of the black struggle. Okay, all of these things were made off of or created stemming from the black struggle. And we've allowed other people, and it's not just Africans. You got Asians, Hispanics. All of these people have been coming over using our plight as a ramp so they can get ahead. All right. So now we're saying, you know what? We're going to have to reevaluate our relationship with everybody, even if that includes the diaspora. Okay, so for you all to say, well, y'all don't have this energy with anybody else. Just a couple months ago, you had Hispanics and Mexicans begging us to come support them when it comes to the ICE protests. And we were telling them no. All year long, they've been sitting up there talking about some black and brown coalition. And we've been telling them, no, that's not our fight. That's not our business. So, yeah, we handle everybody the way they need to be handled. But now it's on you guys. All right.
Up real quick, just 30 seconds. Thank you so much. I really appreciate what you said. All I'm saying is I deal with facts. Let us see how it pans out. That is all I'm saying. Again, I'm not worried at all. I'm not worried about you guys.
Why do you want us to stop if you're not worried? Why are you saying that we should stop if you're not worried about it?
Worried about what? Stop about. No. Let it go on. Let it go on.
Right,
Let's see.
all right, say less.
Let it go on. Let's see. Because again, sir, you're not understanding one thing. The country is so mixed. It's so gelled more than what you're discussing right now. And I know your plight, and I know how hard you want things to go. But again, America as a country, it's so influx. Like there are so many mixtures. Like, if you're not doing it, just because an African is married to an African American with kids and with solid family, what you gonna say about that? Like, what are they gonna do? That has
nothing to do with the conversation.
It does. Because because you're saying that black Americans are going to boycott these, but not everyone is gonna do that.
Everybody doesn't have to. Everybody didn't have to boycott Target. Everybody didn't have to.
But what I'm saying is that majority minority.
When it comes to a boycott, when it comes to business, when it comes to that, you don't need 100% of everybody in order for it to be a damaging effect. All right? You really don't. You actually don't even need a 50-50 amount of customers for it to be a damaging effect. If a business thrives off of income and then all of a sudden a business loses 40% of their customers, that's a tremendous loss. If a business loses 30% of their customers, that's a tremendous loss. If they lose 20%, that's a very big loss. If you have whatever your income or your customer base is, if 20% of that just disappears, that's a very big financial loss. And everybody who understands business knows that. So if you're saying that we can survive, okay, if you don't think that with this massive boycott all over YouTube, all over TikTok, all over social media, if you don't think that this will bring about at the very minimum a good 20 to 30% of customer loss of African businesses, that's crazy. Because you guys are not, or when it comes to the braiding shops, especially, because you guys don't braid non-black hair. That's the thing. You only braid black hair. So if only 20% of black American women or 30% of black American women stop going to the shops, that's a huge financial loss for the businesses. So y'all acting like y'all cool. You said you cool. You said you want to bring it on. Okay, well, we just going to see how it works then. Like you said, let's see how it play out. All right, let's see how it play out then. That's all I got to say. We just going to see how it works.
How you doing today? May I speak?
Am I next?
Yeah, Halo was next.
Calm that down. Because I got something I want to say real quick. Okay. Okay, go ahead, BX.
Okay, this is what it looks like when a foundational black American is married to an immigrant and they have children. The immigrant will always be an immigrant. He'll be deported, and the foundational Black American will raise the children and culture the children and love on the children. And if the Black American feels like sending the children to the other parents' home to visit them for a moment, they might. So, sir, we're used to this. You ain't bringing up nothing new, sir. We know everything about our interrelationship and
That's
stuff.
a
It's
lie,
new to
ma'am. And
you.
I'm gonna end it like that. That's a lie.
Okay,
Okay, good.
okay, we
Thank
That's
heard
a
you,
lie.
sir.
we heard
We
enough
had
from
enough
you.
from
Okay,
you.
we heard enough from you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyways, I want to say this. I want to okay, so what I want to say about the boycott real quick. If y'all think that's not going to you think YT people ain't going to follow up behind what we doing over here, you got another thing coming. I mean, we don't like we got our issues with these people at the end of the day, but they don't like immigrants like you think they like you. I've just seen a whole comment section about the boycott, right? You don't see any white people up in the comments saying, "Oh, why they doing this and why they doing that." You see other immigrants defending y'all. But when I seen this video today with this black man up here, right? This black man was just up here saying, white people, y'all be doing everything else and blah blah blah, always in our business. Now that we got this going on, you don't want to be in our business, you better stand the F up. And all I seen was white people in the comments saying, "Oh yeah, we stand with y'all. Oh yeah, we boycott. We're supporting y'all." Not saying that they even go to your shops anyway, but you see exactly what's going on here, right? They were rather these white people don't F with you like you think they do. They used you for whatever they used you for, and now you getting sent home like it ain't nothing. They don't want y'all here. They really, they don't. We got our differences with them. They probably don't want us here. We don't want them there. We don't. Not saying we like them or whatever, but it's called chess. It's called chess, not checkers. So at the end of the day, we're gonna use our pieces right. So while you sitting up here, and if you think I'm lying, I pulled it up right here. Hold on. I pulled up the video right here. If you think I'm lying about it, right? You can see the comment sections. Ain't nothing but white people up in this comment section sitting here saying, hold on, that's him talking. Hold on. Dang, why so low?
We are Americans, and we stand on American business. So, if the African has got a problem with black Americans, white man, get your ass to attention. They say they got a problem with us, that mean they got a problem with you too. You can't let them be cool with y'all and beef with us. That's bullshit. That's backstabbing. We all American citizens. Oh, the white man don't like black people.
Yeah.
So let's go over to America and join forces with the white man. Hell no. Only a liberal white man will accept something like that. So.
Okay, so I don't know why it's pausing, but I'm about to show y'all these comments after he said that, right? Dang, what's going on with this damn... Hold on, y'all. Hold on, I'm having technical differences.
It happens. Trust me, I know.
Halo.
Can
I say something right quick? Can I say something right quick?
No, you cannot. Listen, there are people who have been here and patiently waited their turn to speak, who haven't even spoken yet, and you just got up here talking about, can I speak? No. If you guys do not have the discipline it takes to wait your turn, then you need to go to another live. I'm not going to say it again. Go ahead, Halo.
Okay, and then I want to talk about like how we got our own people getting on these platforms, right? That's going against what reparations and not necessarily saying they're going against reparations, but saying
Almost 500 people in the chat. 494, and Afro Elite is at 87.9K likes. Can y'all get the likes up to at least 100K?
Tap the screen. Everybody tap the screen. Tap the screen. Tap the screen. Come on now. Let's
I'm
tap
back,
the
y'all. I
screen.
have some stuff going on. But listen, I don't like when our own people get on these platforms and they speak against reparations and they say, well, I don't think we gonna get it. I don't think this, that, and the third. Look, it's people out here in the field for us that's getting out here every day, going to these rallies, shutting these tethers down, going out their way to do stuff for our community, and you get your butt up here and you speak against reparations and you say that you don't think we're gonna never get it. See, people like that is what we don't need in our circle because my whole thing is, how dare you get up here and get these tethers and get these white tea people what they want to hear. No, they said one day that there'll never be freedom. They said there'll never be, we will always be in segregation. We ain't with that now. I don't need nobody speaking against the movement on whatever we got going on. For you to get up on these platforms and say that we'll never. We need more. We can. We don't need no Negro who just gave up in life, because that's what it sounds like. You gave up in life. None of our people gave up in life. And for you to sit up on these platforms and you agree with people talking about we'll never get it. You're sad. You're sad. And we don't need people like you in our community. We don't. We got all these people out here that's actually putting in work. We got people, advocates out here doing what they need to do for our community, so we can be put in a position to where we can get back our generational wealth to build up our communities that they destroyed. And you gonna get up here and say, "Oh, you'll never get reparations. Oh, this is never gonna happen." I don't need Negroes like you in our community. You take it. We need to get these Negroes that's doing stuff like that a ticket on back to Africa, to go on to Africa with the same motherfuckers who running their mouth about us. And for you to sit up here and talk about how, oh, the boycott ain't gonna get you nowhere, you know it's gonna get you somewhere. That's why you shaking in your boots talking now. That's why you coming on platforms and you keep making these prompts up and putting these prompts up saying, oh, why are they boycotting Africans? Because you know it's hitting you. And just so you know, they getting up here, and I don't know if y'all seen the videos of them getting up here saying, oh, it's not gonna do anything. Oh, and they couldn't even boycott this. They couldn't boycott that. You're lying. They'll get up here and lie. Actually, Target lost 1.2 billion dollars, not millions, billions of dollars from a boycott. So what your hole in the wall shop gonna do?
And the year is still going. We're still not done with the Target boycott or whatever the case is. So yeah, Target, when they say that, it just kind of make me scratch. Like, do y'all not understand? Maybe you guys don't take us serious. Maybe that's y'all problem. Y'all don't think that we really about that. Y'all don't think that we can be taken serious, because y'all ain't got shit on Target.
I'll tell you. Let me tell you.
Target's ass right now.
And I just want to say, what you think your little hole in the wall shop? What you think your little hole in the wall shop gonna do? When we go in your shops, it already look like a damn. I mean, excuse my language. It already look like a.
Let's stop cursing. I started it. Let me
stop cursing. It already look like a mud hut up in there. Like, it's already look like, when you walk in their shops, it doesn't look like a white tea person would even want to come in there and sit down, okay? Because once you see what it looked like up in there, like one table, one spoon, one little bowl you're cooking in, and then one table, and you gonna have the nerve to ask me, do I want to eat in? Where I'm like, let's be for real here. Your little shops ain't about ish. Your little fruit stand on the side of the road. Your only customers barely be black people coming over there, because your only customers is the flies that's flying around it. So let's be for real here. Your little customers ain't gonna be nothing to close down, okay? Your little business, the little hole in the wall business you keep bragging about that you barely holding up. I mean, the only people that's keeping your business running is black Americans that's supporting you, because we say, oh, it's Africans, let me go support you so-called people. They ain't my people, but that's how some people felt. But now that this is going around and people seeing what you're saying and you're doing, yeah, you just putting yourself deeper into a hole. So go ahead and run your little mouth. Yeah, we already know your little hole in the wall business ain't about it. She's standing on a leg and standing on a string already. So if we can boycott and make Target lose billions, what makes you think your little hole in the wall shop won't go down? Your little dirty shop that barely got running water up in there. Little dirty shop with dirt walls and messed up floors. I mean, come on now. Your little shop ain't even hitting on ish. I mean, my people own restaurants, and their restaurant look way better than your restaurant. And I always say this, but look, even Fruity Obama came out and ate at my people restaurant. Did he come eat at your restaurant? That so-called little, what he doing in soul food restaurants anyway? Sitting here cosplaying like Camilla, acting like he was down with the black community around the time of the election. He was going around doing the same thing Camilla was doing, but we was blind then. Now we see. My people done woke up. We done woke up.
And for me, no hate, no bullying, but I want to bring some facts to the table, right? We got to understand that they depend on the black American dollar. That's why even with the gentleman earlier, what did he say? He said, well, the other black Americans going to still go. He didn't say, well, we going to stand together. He didn't say, well, the white tea going to come to the shops. He didn't say, well, the Asians going to come to the shops. He said, well, the other black Americans are going to come, the ones that's married and all these other things that he started naming, right? And so They depend on the soft and sweet kumbaya spineless black American that think everybody's all their friend and everybody's kumbaya while they're economically destroying you. Right? This is what they depend on, right? And so that's why y'all gotta wake up, right? For the ones that saying, well, we all black. I already explained that there's no we all black on the continent, right? But when it come down to your money, is we all black. They don't mind your money, but when it come down to hiring you, they're not hiring you, is what I'm trying to say. So again, when it come down to it, y'all gotta realize and wake up and start looking at Black American owned businesses. Again, Black American owned business. I'm not saying you can't splurge every once in a while, but 85 to 90% of your money gotta go to Black American owned businesses because people depend on your ignorance. They depend on you not knowing the power of the dollar that you have. And I'll land.
All right. Hold on. Let's get to
Damn, bro.
yeah, man. There's been a lot of people. But we gonna get to you. Let's get to what's your name? Confetti City.
Thank you, Afro Elite and the panel for allowing me to speak. I've been listening to what's been going on, and I like to start off to say the gaslighting with these Africans. Black Americans, don't let them gaslight you into thinking that you're doing something wrong just because we all have the same skin color. What they failed to realize, like, I forgot his name, Olulu, no disrespect, but Olulu and his ilk, seems to be the loudest amongst the Africans. He mentioned that, oh, when I don't see that. That's the problem. They don't see that due to, I think an element of it, chat, would be geographical location in America. These Africans in New York, up here, Black Americans are sort of outnumbered here. So they get on these panels, coming from the East Coast where they're great in numbers, not thinking that Black Americans got back up in the South.
I gotta stop you. They don't outnumber us. They just have the machine, the media.
They do. They
Behind us.
absolutely do too. But what I've
Because we
noticed
have a
here,
slightly
I'm in
larger.
Brooklyn.
Right.
That's why I
Brooklyn.
said we outnumbered.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I live by 3 Jamaican restaurants on 1 block.
Yeah.
Okay,
Restaurant
I don't see
is the
Mom and
problem.
Pop's Big Peaches North Carolina kitchen. And what these suckers tried to do on like Seamless and stuff like that, why do y'all list y'all food as soul food when I'm trying to look for a good Black American meal? Stop doing that. That's like one of my pet peeves. I'm sorry to, be off track, but sticking to what Alulu was saying, I think they got it messed up when they don't realize in the South they come up and set up shop in these Black communities, and like Black Alpha said, even if 10% don't even come because you're in a predominantly Black American town in the South, in the Midwest, out in Cali, up north, Pacific. You know what I'm saying? Y'all think just because y'all here on the East Coast massive that nothing is going to affect you, and you're wrong because you're discounting the rest of Black America that will boycott. Y'all love the Black Americans that say, "Oh, we're not going to boycott." We need most of them is probably from the East Coast or Midwest Coast, where there's nothing around but y'all stores. And the last thing I want to touch on, guys, don't let them tell you that we don't own anything. I come on a lot of panels and I see these Africans always say, well, you don't own nothing. Y'all don't own nothing. What the fuck you want us to own? The White House? The courthouse downtown? We own shit. I mean, we own stuff here. Don't get it twisted. Just because y'all little restaurants, I know Black women that own nail tech schools. I know black farmers that have hundreds of acres pumping out that corn. Don't come up on these panels talking about black Americans don't own nothing. You
We
own,
own restaurants, barbershops,
but that's what I'm
salons.
saying. Why can't they see that? Why do they think their black businesses are the only ones that count? And discount our businesses as nothing. We own nothing. How many Africans have you seen on different panels say the same thing, that we don't own nothing? And the narrative spread from culture to culture. And I'm so sick of these Africans trying to gaslight us just because it's their turn. Don't act like that we don't boycott these Asians in their restaurant, their stuff. Don't sit up here. Y'all gotta keep up. See, black FBA too quick for y'all. We boycott and move to the next. We have so many enemies that we have to put y'all in rotation to
Facts.
remind us that we don't have friends. We focusing on y'all while the Asians beating up somebody, you know what I'm saying?
One
Downtown or
minute.
something like that.
1 minute, 1 minute. I want to go back to something. For
Yes,
those
ma'am.
who are on my page, there's a blue post and it says foreign born in the United States, right? It's a demographic of which city, which metropolis has the most number of black immigrants, right? New York comes in sixth. So what I want to say with that, you would think New York has the most, right? You would
Mm-hmm.
think that. Because it's the media, it's an agenda, and then they are monopolizing the government in your district or in Brooklyn.
Oh, girl,
Confetti.
we got
One
Yvette
minute, one
Clark.
minute. Let me land here. Yvette
Mm-hmm.
Clark is of Jamaican descent, and
Mm-hmm.
she petitions for immigrants to specifically come from Brooklyn. That's why you feel, you know what I'm saying, overpopulated by them. But y'all got to check the numbers. Really, Black Americans are really in New York. Foundational Black Americans who have been here for generations is really still in New York, and it's exhibited during our reparations meeting. They're being surprised at how we're coming out against them. We're not alone. So I want to
Exactly.
say that. I just
Exactly.
wanted to say that. Oh, thank you, Confetti. But Afro, what's your time looking like? Because it's like 5:33.
Yeah, I got maybe another good 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, maybe.
Well, I
Okay.
just want to say
I'm
thank
literally
you so
working on
much.
my live stream right now. I'm like on the thing and looking at this. I'm multitasking like crazy right now.
Well,
I
thank
speak
you for
next.
allowing me to speak, guys. That's one point that I just want to bring out to black Americans. Don't let them gaslight you. We fight every fight, from the Asians to the Africans now, because while we was focusing on the Asians for affirmative action and all that stuff, and we was against Cinco de Mayo. I know they lost some profit this year. We, complaining about us not lobbying for them. Is this your time next? Because you were the loudest. We were speaking about them, and you constantly revert yourselves to the center of the conversation of immigration, and it makes it look like we're picking on you. You're just the loudest. You're the weirdest. I mean, y'all think y'all coming over here to get trinkets and love, like the missionaries be loving on y'all with them flies on y'all and stuff. It's not like that here. It's a different fight. You get on our page or get out. Just remember, they're here to take and give back to their country. That's their mission here. And I land my plane. Thank you, chat.
They put whatever they get into that mud hut, and only that.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Thank you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I've been listening for a while. I've listened to the guy that was here before. He was where like Mr. Fora was. And I think in a lot of ways you're going, a bit far with the whole flies thing, flies around the forehead. I understand. But the meat of your guys' argument, I understand. You know what I mean? And to be quite frank with you, Afro Elite host, you said it yourself, like, sorry, it was the other guy. He said he does not like the gaslighting. And to be honest with you, as an African myself, I agree. There is a lot of gaslighting of you guys. Your ethnogenesis, right? When I say ethnogenesis, I mean Black Americans, specifically Americans, like in the United States of America, whether it's FBA, ADOS, however acronym they want to call, whatever term they want to use, that group of people, You're right. It has the most millionaires of any diaspora, black diaspora. It's in the most industrial, it's the economic capital of the world. It's the imperial core of the world. And it's a group of black people within it. You know what I'm saying? They do get leapfrogged over a lot of times, like with these liberal policies. The Democrats, I also believed in the Democrats too, up until I think it was like, honestly, I stopped believing in them at Joe Biden. After that, I stopped believing in them. I don't believe in the Democrats no more. I'm vehemently against them. I'm about as against them as the Republicans. Like, I thought there was hope, and now there's no hope. And I saw also in that, like, I seen how Obama was moving when it came to like black men. He said some stuff about black men. It was not cool. Whatever. Look, I've always been a very leftist person. But it got to a point where I realized like there's like just it's a system of design to kind of extra, like, basically they're making us fight over crumbs when you should be asking for more. You're using all this energy to try to like start a too wide of a revolutionary movement, when in reality you could just be dealing with what you got going on in your community here domestically. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't have an issue with it. Me, I'm an Eritrean, by the way. So I'm like East African. So I'm kind of far away from this, to be honest with you. But I do know that, for example, like you guys have mentioned, like DMV, there's a lot of Ethiopians, a lot of Eritreans, a lot of Sudanese who live out there. I'm from Minnesota. There's like a lot of Somalis who live out here. The African American communities in these places definitely do significantly, contribute to the business there. You know what I mean? Like, for the African Americans to leave those, like, stop going to those places, it would be bad for business, objectively. You know what I mean? And to some extent, I think with our communities on the East Side, there's less of a culture of like, how do I put this? Like, they definitely claim black when they come here, but they definitely distinguish themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I was born in America. I claim, like, obviously when I was growing up, like, I went to like pretty much like all white schools. They just call me black. Like, there was no like identifying what type of black I am and or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they just knew I'm from Africa, black. That's it. Like, it was case closed, right? But like there was a distinction. Like, obviously I knew there was a distinction, because at the end of the day, when I go home, I know my, like, like what my parents say they are, what type of like food we eat at home and stuff like that. Like, we're clearly distinct. We're clearly our own little pocket of an African diaspora in America. You know what I mean? All of this to say, basically, like, I don't oppose your guys' ethnogenesis. I do think, like, if there's disrespect, then if you guys do the boycott, like, at the end of the day, the market will readjust. You know what I mean? People are going to like do things to try to, get things back to equilibrium. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, like, that's the point of a boycott. You get your goals. You know what I mean? You make demands. You say you're gonna boycott, and then whatever, blah blah, right? But I do think this is ultimately a good thing for you guys. And I think it's a good thing for Africans too. As much as the Africans might not say it, I think it's a good thing too. Because to be honest with you, I think we all need to be thinking like politics is about interests at the end of the day. And we're all pretty much disenfranchised. Like, we're all on the lower end of disenfranchisement, if we're being honest with ourselves. And like, you can't help each other until we help ourselves type of situation. You know what I mean? It's really, I can't help you, and you can't help me until your community is stable and my community is stable. You know what I mean? So until then, like, you're going to be making choices that are best fit to help your community. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I do believe, by the way, for the record, last thing, CIA, I genuinely do believe in a lot of ways the CIA has like subtly tweaked with the ideologies in your community so that things are where they are right now. Right? Like, I do think that like homegrown African American socialist programs that you guys were doing that were specifically catered to your guys' like communities, those were the ones that got COINTELPRO'd. You know what I mean? So, like, I do think that what they try to do is they try to overexpand your political agenda to such an extent that you guys really can't handle it, and it's easily co-opted by liberals, right? And then like you don't end up actually achieving any goals or like progress for your community that like meet your satisfaction. You know what I mean? And neither do we as Africans, by the way. Foreign policy wise, we get screwed over by the West. We get screwed over by America in a lot of ways, right? So I don't know why we're like booty clapping for the same interventionists, you know what I'm saying, that do heinous things. This is my point aside. Do whatever you guys want to do.
I'm gonna ask you to land because you're going a whole bunch of different directions, and I'm hearing some misinformation, really. So please hurry up and land your plane.
You know,
Thank you.
I'm just saying that at the end of the day, when they the United
You're still
States,
going. I thought you finished.
I'm just wrapping up if you want me to.
Okay, 10 seconds, please.
Okay, yeah. My point is that at the end of the day, African Americans, I do believe it's in our interests as Africans to see you guys, really take control of the means of capital that you have in America. You know what I mean? And you guys controlling it for the sake of yourselves is not a threat to me. If anything, it should be a blessing to me, and I should hope the same for my little slice of Africa as well, that I have autonomy, and I can go back and can really own that area and that domain. So we should be, if anything, supporting you in this. But yeah, at the end of the day, this all started because Africans were being disrespectful. I guess I don't really know how the boycott started, but hopefully that stops, and then you guys can. But you're right. I do want your money. At the end of the day. So whatever caused the boycott, hopefully it stops, and then But I do think it's good for you guys to think for yourselves. That's my point. I admire what you guys have been saying as far as self-determination and self-reliance. I like that.
Afro, he landed.
Okay. All right then. This is necessary. It is, and it's going to be for the best. It's going to get ugly. It's definitely going to be for the best. For everybody. And the reason why is because we have been living under this illusion where we feel as if supporting everybody and helping everybody is going to be reciprocated. And it hasn't been. So this is exactly what we need right now. So, some people understand it. Some people get it. Some people understand how this makes sense, because it does. This makes sense. This is the most logical thing we can do at this point, actually. All right. Let's get to Alexander.
How is everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm African, specifically from Congo, DRC.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been here for long. Like I've been listening to what you've been saying. Heard different opinions, but what I want to say basically is that for sure you have a reason for the boycott, because I've been also hearing some stuff, like some crap stuff about how Africans are saying about the Black Americans, but I would say it also goes both ways, because also Americans are saying stuff about Africans that isn't true, and sometimes through the emotions and how you're saying it, because yeah, I know also Africans are saying something that is not true about Americans, like in some way, like there's misinformation on both ways. So that's what I can say. Like all these conflicts and all these cases are just coming because of misinformation. There are other things that I believed as an African before I came here. I used to say, "Oh, Black Americans are always, violent and shit and other stuff." But since I've come here and I've experienced it myself, and I'll be like, okay, what I've been hearing is somehow I've been misinformed. These people are cool, and these people are. That's the same way as in Americans are also having misinformation about like Africans in general.
Okay.
So if you think like the boycott is the only solution, and you think like that's what's gonna make you happy, okay, for sure. Because yeah, you have a reason. Africans are also saying like bad things about America, but it's not only Africans. Because I'm hearing like it's only like one-sided. You're just saying, oh, Africans say shit about you, oh, Africans say crap about you, or anything. But no, I believe, yeah, and I've heard some for reals, and you're saying I'm in the US, and you're like, nah, this is not true. You know, these Africans are saying this, but this is not true about Black Americans. They are somehow wrong about them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that's my point. But
Now let me
yeah,
ask you a
if you think,
question. Let me ask you a
mhm,
question, and I appreciate
okay,
your patience. Let me ask you a question. You said it's
sure,
a two-way street, right? So,
yeah,
like, you hear it both ways, right?
hmm
What is the equivalent that Black Americans do to where did you say you're from?
DRC, Congo.
The Congo. Okay. What is the
Yeah.
equivalent that Black Americans do to the Congo where Congolese people or people from the diaspora come to America and they say we don't deserve reparations, that we're lazy, uneducated, that we have no culture? You
There's
know,
no equivalent, bro.
they're getting into political positions and they're becoming opposition to our
hmm
progress in political positions. And the reason why I'm asking you this is because every single time we have this conversation, it's always somebody who comes up, at least one comes up here and they say, well, you know, it's both ways. It's both ways. Come on. You guys say things about me. We say things about you. It does go both ways. So let me ask you, okay, take the insults aside. Let's put that to the side and let's say that is 50-50. Let's say the insults
hmm
is 50-50. As far as the political opposition that we've been experiencing from immigrants from the diaspora, what is the equivalent of that we all do to you all?
So there's none for sure. I also agree. Like
Okay,
there's
and see,
none.
this is what I'm talking about because
There's
the
none.
conversation is beyond somebody's saying, oh, you guys are lazy, oh, well, you guys come from the jungle or whatever. This is beyond basic insults. All right, this is because there is a livelihood that we're trying to strive for, that we're starting to see immigrants come over here and they're becoming opposition to that. They're willfully becoming a buffer class that prevents us from success. They're enabling like this glass ceiling that we have in many different ways. So this is beyond somebody one time saying something rude or mean and being offended.
I mean, I
Okay.
agree. Can I say something to that, host?
Hold on, I want Alexander, what do you have to say about that?
Okay, I totally agree with what you're saying. You have a reason, and you know sometimes let me say this: like Africans, when coming from back home in Africa, they usually come with that mindset, saying, you know, it's just the agenda that has been pushed onto us, like the same it has been pushed onto you. Because I personally have received question as in, so do you live with lions? Like, oh, do you live in trees? You know, but I understand, you know, and I laugh in the so okay, that's what you've been shown on TVs or maybe after media, but you know, Africa is always different and this and this and that. But I also, you should also understand that even in Africa, they usually come with that mindset of what they see on the media, like, oh,
Okay, and
America
we
is
keep
always
hearing that
violence and
excuse
they
as
use
well too.
guns and
Okay, thank you. I mean, cause if you heard it once, you heard it 1,000 times, honestly. And we've heard that excuse so many times. And yeah, we get it. You guys see bad depictions of us in the media, and we've debunked that excuse and
and for
narrative
sure,
so
like
many other times.
that's
But
what
let
we
me ask you
see.
this. Let me ask you another question.
Mhm.
What the Congo has gone through from the colonists, right? The colonial powers, right? Do you feel like
hmm
Congolese people deserve reparations?
For sure.
Okay, so if Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, went to Congo and we said, actually, you guys don't deserve reparations. You guys just need to pull yourselves up by your bootstraps and work harder.
Crazy. That shit would be
Now
crazy.
that's crazy for real. Like
What
people
do
who
you
think
think?
like that,
Hold
that's
on, hold
crazy.
on, hold on. Let me finish the question.
Sure.
What do you think the Congolese people would do in response? If we went over there and we said, you know what, actually, y'all just kind of lazy and y'all need to let that go. Y'all need to stop living in the past like we do. What do you think the Congolese people would do in response?
they'll actually maybe get mad and act, because yeah, it's actually rude after all you've been through, and
Mm-hmm.
actually somebody just comes up and say that. For real, I understand the point and what you're trying to say, but yeah, I won't be like a lawyer to say that, oh, not all Africans do that. Yeah, I know. That's why at first I agree that there are some people who are saying crap, and I understand on how you feel,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's just like how the media and how it has been pushed. We do have different, like,
Okay, well, we can't keep doing, because that's not going to solve the problem. We can't keep
yeah,
giving the media. We can't keep putting all of this on the media. We can't do that, because
yeah,
we're
I
we're
know.
literally not getting anywhere. Because that excuse can be used indefinitely. That excuse has been used for the last 20, 30 years now.
For
Or
sure.
actually,
So
since it's for the last really 60 years. That excuse is never going to end if we don't stop it right now. It's always going to be, well, you guys got to understand where we come from. The media has put you guys in a bad light, and
for sure.
that's got to stop, because at this point that's less than honest, to be truthful
No,
with
to be honest, okay, I've been here like I haven't even like managed a year in here. Like I've been here for less than a year. To be honest, like that's the mindset most of Africans, I wouldn't say all Africans, but most of the Africans have about Black Americans. You guys are painted as in you are violent. You always use, like, you use guns, and you are lazy. Like I'm telling you, like most of the Africans see that,
you. Mm-hmm.
and I understand you, because as I was saying like earlier, I received like personal, and I've also received the segregation from the white people. Like I feel you, I feel your pain. Because
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say there and just go like I'm African American. Sometimes because I'm black, and I also receive that segregation. You can just feel it, even without being told. And I feel you. So if you feel like maybe that's the only solution, like maybe for you to feel happy, and maybe, then go ahead and do it. But I was just like trying to make you understand that even the
Mm-hmm.
media is also causing an impact also in Africa.
Yeah.
Most of the
Can
Africans
I
are
say
black.
something
Okay,
off the
but
back of what he's saying about the art media?
it's not about feeling happy. This isn't about us doing this to like get back at nobody. This is about solving an issue.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
so I want to say something because I'm sick of y'all coming up here talking about the media present you as that. So do your media present the G sides that go on over there, the child marriages that go on over there? It's worse than what's going over there than what's going on over here. So how you gonna sit up here and point the finger and say what we doing over here when you over there literally unaliven somebody because of their sexuality? So don't ever in your life sit up here and try to say the media showed this. Well, look in the mirror and look at your own media before you come over here and try to point
hey,
your musty finger at us.
no, I'm not pointing any fingers. I don't know if you understood what I was saying. Like I understand. I was black. I
Alexander,
believe that.
let me
And
can I ask you a question?
when I came here, I actually saw that. Okay, I've been misinformed. That's what I say.
And can I ask you
And
a
Okay,
I
question? What
but that excuse that you guys keep using, that we're just misinformed and we don't
it's
understand, and that is for
it's
that translate to, first off, lack of understanding translate to vitriol is just crazy, because the lack of understanding that you guys say that you guys have for us, or the lack of proper media representation that you guys say you all have for us, which I guess somehow translates into us being disrespected, does not happen with anybody else. Okay, there's a unique level of disrespect that we face that the Caribbeans don't face from Africa, that the Asians don't face from Africa, that the Hispanics don't face from Africa, that the white tea person doesn't face from Africa. There's a very unique rivalry that you guys feel like you have, and a disdain, an issue with us that you all feel. Okay, because I'm seeing podcasts, and I don't see podcasts of Africans talking about how they're doing better than Asians, how they're doing better than Hispanics, how they're doing better than the Caribbeans, but they keep talking about how they're doing better than us as Black Americans, and how they're running circles around us. This constant thing where they're like feeling like they're in a competition with us in particular.
oh, okay. That's where I
So
get like
so so
the
this is
boycott is
why when
coming
you
from.
look
Okay.
at when you compare all of the facts, it's looking like, okay, y'all media excuse is really getting old, And when we actually analyze the media excuse, it's seeming like that's literally just that, an excuse and a lie at this point.
Okay, that's what it may seem like, but I'm telling you that's the truth. And
Alexander, can I ask
yeah,
you a
sure.
question?
Okay, sure.
Alexander, can I ask you a question? What country in
hmm
Africa you come from?
Zambia specifically.
You know, you in the southern part. You in the southern part of the region near like
Yeah, southern part. Yeah.
Botswana and over there near
Zimbabwe,
Botswana and
Malawi.
Zimbabwe. I know where that's at. So
Yeah.
over there in Zambia,
Yeah.
when they were doing the commercials, the Feed the Children commercials. Though I'm not trying to be funny or sarcastic though, is
I
that
get it.
we actually didn't say this don't represent all Africans though, but y'all got hold to top stereotypical roles. You got your celebrities over here like Cynthia Erivo call them Foundation Black Americans Akatas by playing historical Black America icon like Harriet Tubman, for example. And also you got these people like over here, like you got the Shade Room, which is a Nigerian owner. And you know what happened to the owner of the Shade Room, Afro Leak, that she got beat up out there in Nigeria. Do you hear about this story?
No, I haven't heard about that.
Owner of Shade Room went back to Nigeria. She got beat up though by the Nigerians over there
Oh,
for
dang.
ruining the image of the Nigerians over there. So at one point in time, Alexander, we've been telling you to call out your Sambos and your C double O N's out for a long time. Like that Nigerian person that was trying to run for, I believe, governor out there in Michigan. How you say you're gonna get rid of Black History Month if you become the governor of Maryland? Not Maryland, but if you become the governor of which state was that? Michigan. I didn't see no Nigerians call that out. Same thing with the Nigerians had the Shade Room. We didn't see the Nigerian community call them out though, or the African community in general. So what you guys say about that, Alexander, though, that y'all got the biggest slurs towards like Kadas, Jareers, Abis, Brunis, Yimbus, and all the other stuff that goes on over there. And also is that, are you here in America?
Yeah, yeah. I'm in America.
Are you in?
Wisconsin.
What state are you in?
Wisconsin.
How does that help anything though?
So Apple.
Wait, now you was talking in the chat room, so I guess you want to have a dialogue with me, so we're going to have a dialogue.
So
We're going to
I
have
remember
me and you
Apple Chat.
dialogue, but you're going to wait your turn.
I remember Apple Chat from like Purple. I forgot what country say he was from. I'm not sure he's from like Nigeria, West Africa somewhere. Like over there in West Africa, especially in places like Ghana, Nigeria, especially in Nigeria, especially all the special armed groups going over there, like the Boko Haram, like ISIS over there.
Yeah, and
We don't say that represent.
Don't do that.
We don't say that represents all Nigerian. Same thing was going on with the scamming going over. Like you got these Nigerian romance scams and the 419 scams over here. We don't say all Nigerian scammers though. Same thing.
But Black Vanguard, I'm gonna let you ask your question to Alexander, then we're gonna move on. Because I do gotta wrap things up in a little bit.
So my question to you, Alexander, and Apple Chat. All the education knowledge you got over here, how come you can't go over here and build and fix your homeland up like Abraham Torre Burkina Faso doing? How come you can't do that, replicate what he doing over here into your countries?
On the Forbes list. You've been here 400 years. You're not on the Forbes list. How come?
Okay, hold on. Okay. See, now here's the thing. When they be all like, man, you don't want no smoke with me. You don't want to debate me. And then they get up here because they honestly don't think that I see that. And then when they get up here, all they do is troll like children. Okay, Afro Chat. If you're an adult, I'm sure you are. You sound old. If you're an adult, I want you to be quiet and wait your turn. And then me and you are going to have a conversation because everybody, they be whooping in the chat room. I don't know where, man, you got to get that tea off the stove, brother. But we are closing these things up. They be woofing in the chat room. And then next thing you know, when they come up here, they don't have any, they want to troll so they can get kicked off because they really don't expect to actually have a serious conversation and debate. All right. Let's get to, let me see. Now
Can
let's
I say
get to,
something before you close?
oh no, not yet. It's not your turn. It's BTV.
Afro Leak. Who is Afro Man? Is that the man that you showed on your
No.
on your okay. I was just wondering. Okay.
BTV, you got it.
Oh, okay. So basically, what I hear from everybody, from my African American cousins, is that I hear a lot of hurt and a lot of pains, and I can totally understand that. Okay. Now, I was once a business analyst, and now I'm a behavioral analyst. I analyze behaviors, human behaviors. Okay, I know there is pains and hurts, but I'm not getting the specific behavior that's causing the hurt. You're not, like when Martin Luther King did his marches, we all knew the purpose of his march. When he did the march, we knew, okay, this is what he's crying for. And everyone joined, everyone understood what he was looking for. And in this case, what is the function of the boycott?
Where
What
are
I
you
hear
from? Where are
is,
you from?
I'm Nigerian. I've lived here for the past 30 years.
Now,
Okay, I
okay.
live in Houston.
Now,
Okay,
this is going to let me give you this, because this is going to be this. This honestly is coming off as disingenuous, because you've been up here for a long enough time and listened to us long enough for us to, and we've conveyed for the last, what, 2-3 hours now, we've conveyed what our issue is, and we brought up different things that's been done that we have an issue with. And then every time someone comes up here, they be all like, I just don't understand. You've been listening for what? How long have you been up here? At least the
I'm
last hour.
about 30 minutes, yes, or about an
No,
hour.
you've been up here for about 30 minutes, but you've been in the chat room for at least the last hour.
Correct.
Right? So you
Yes.
understand exactly what the thing is.
Yeah, what
And
I
now
hear,
it's a thing where you all are asking these questions again and again and again,
right.
and it's coming off as disingenuous at this point,
Well, it might
because now
come.
we got to keep repeating what the issue is. What do you think the issue is?
Okay, what I hear. You want me to tell you what I hear?
Go ahead. Yeah.
What I hear from you and everybody else, from BX, the gatekeeper, and everybody else, is that you're being disrespected. All right, but you're not giving specific reasons why you feel disrespected. Give
Okay,
instances.
let me tell you. Let
Right.
me tell you, because this has been said before. It's bigger than just being disrespected. We are realizing that there are a number, nobody is saying all, but a very loud minority that just goes unregulated and unchecked. We are realizing that there is a very problematic element that comes from the diaspora.
Okay, give specific. Yeah, that's a vague. Okay.
Specifically, okay, we can talk about the African politician who tried to get rid of Black History Month. I keep forgetting his name. We can talk about Yvette Clarke. We can talk about Wes Moore. We can talk about Barack Obama. We can talk about Candace Owens, Myron Gaines, Brian Donalds. Okay. We can talk about a bunch of other immigrants who are in reparations panels as well too, who try to change the reparations panel and make it less lineage specific and make it more immigrant, or make it more race specific.
Color
Okay,
specific. Yeah.
we can talk about Joy Reid, we can talk about Roland Martin, we can talk about all of these other people who give commentary on us and disparage us and make us look a certain type of way, disparagingly. Okay, so this is the issue that we're facing. Okay, because we have and I'm talking about politically. These are political issues that we're facing. All right, some of them are political and then social. Then you got podcasts of them coming over here talking about how they're doing better.
Okay.
Okay.
I totally get it now. Okay.
No. When I said somebody's like Myron Gaines is a politician. Myron Gaines is a problem. All
Right.
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 Myron Gaines is a problem, and we're starting to recognize the pattern of people coming over here becoming an issue. And every single time I ask you, okay, if we were to do the same thing in Nigeria, what would their response be? You all know for a fact in Nigeria, you all would not tolerate that. Y'all don't tolerate people coming in there going against the grain of what the people want. You don't tolerate that. Y'all don't tolerate people going up there talking about how y'all don't have culture, how your holidays is degenerate. You know, y'all don't tolerate the us going over there stereotyping. Y'all talk about baby mama this and baby daddy this and
You want to know
crime
something?
this and crime that. Y'all don't go over there, and you wouldn't tolerate anybody living among you guys puffing their chest out like they're better than you all.
All
You
right.
wouldn't, and you shouldn't.
Right.
And you shouldn't. In the same way you shouldn't tolerate that is the same way we're not tolerating that.
All right. See, I went to high school here, okay? And when I came from Nigeria back in '96, I went to high school in Minnesota, predominantly a white school. Park Center High School was predominantly white. Then we only had maybe like 10 black folks in the whole school.
Don't start the African booty scratcher thing.
Please, I already know where he's gonna go.
No, listen. I have forgiven my African American cousins who bullied me when I was in high school. Matter of fact, some of them.
Here you go again.
Wait, hold
No,
on.
listen. Matter of
Wait,
fact,
so
some
10
of
kids, hold on, because I went to a
See,
predominantly
he
white
was
teen high
talking
school
and I
too.
kept quiet.
Hold on, I'm
And
asking you a
I'm not
question.
talking to
I
you.
need
I'm
clarification.
talking to Afro.
I need clarification because I went to a white teen high school too in one of the roughest cities in the nation. Okay, so you said there were 10 Black American students, and are you telling me that Black Americans were your bullies in this all predominantly white teen school, sir?
Trying to say is, I have grown past that. Okay, I'm in my
No, I
40s now.
need a yes or no. I need a yes or no.
That
So in
is
the
right.
predominantly white teen high school, Black Americans who were the less significant number did not band together according to race, but chose to go after the lone African. Is that what you're telling us?
That is exactly what I experienced.
And I say you're a
That's,
liar.
you know
That's
what's
a lie.
interesting, and
You're a
we're gonna have to
liar.
just
You're
move
gonna tell me
on.
my story
Yes, I
my
Because
am.
we're not gonna
experience.
keep this on too much longer. Let's be
Well,
honest.
well, I just
But
want to ask you
it
guys
just
about
it's
boycott.
interesting. Hold on, it's interesting because what we keep hearing when we have these lives is that every single last one of you all have an identical experience
Okay, can I?
stemming from high school, which is interesting because white folk don't like Africans at all, but y'all don't have any negative experience dealing with white people. The
In
only
all white
people,
schools.
let you tell it, the only people you guys have ever had an issue with are other Black Americans. That is just
All right.
insane.
Okay,
Y'all don't have an
can I
issue with
see? I
Asians. Y'all
came
don't
on the
have an issue
live.
with nobody else. The only people that's ever done y'all wrong is Black
Okay,
Americans, and you all have the same
you
story.
see.
That is amazing.
Okay, can you hear me out? So I came on this live, okay, to express my solidarity with you.
Okay.
Now I brought in that that African high school experience because it was something that I needed to say. That does not shape the way I see my African American brothers. Sometimes I see identity crisis when I hear some people say, "Oh, they're not Africans or they don't have African lineage. They're foundational Black Americans and they were here before the Native Americans." If you're gonna tell me that you were here before the Native Americans, then you might as well tell me that slavery never existed.
No,
And
that's not the
and
same
and
thing
and
at
and,
all.
and no,
That's
I'm
not
not
the
done.
same thing whatsoever.
I'm not done. And then there's no way historically, there's no way the African Americans could have survived the Ice Age in America, in North America, in that time and year.
Sir, first off, this is diverting. We don't have
Okay.
an identity crisis. Stop. There's no identity crisis. As far as foundational Black Americans, there are many foundational Black Americans who believe in different things, and you're diverting the situation. All right.
All right.
To
Let's
say we were
keep it.
here before the Native Americans, there's scientific and what I forget the name. There's scientific evidence of that. There's forensic science that proves that there were Negroid people, Black people who are here, okay, that pre-exist who people claim to be Native today. All right, but that's another story. But getting into the disrespect, you all keep trying to make it seem like this is a tit for tat insult thing, and I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna land it right here because this conversation keeps going. Sir. This conversation keeps going in this circle.
Okay, I got a solution,
Sir. This conversation keeps going in the circle. Well, I was bullied in high school and I let him go, or I let it go, and I understand. The thing is that nobody up here is tripping about high school. None of us are tripping or bringing up high school. None of us are bringing up what was said to us in high school. None of us are concerned with that
But you're
right now.
still able to
What
bring
we
up
are
what happened
concerned
during
with, sir,
slavery,
you need
huh?
to be quiet. Because I'll let you go. What we are concerned with is problematic adults
Okay, Afro White, how
who are
can we
doing things
resolve this?
today, who are
How
doing
can we?
things today that
Okay, how?
undermine, sir. Okay, well, if you're not going to be quiet, then you're just going to have to leave. That undermine our progress, okay? And they're becoming an impediment to our progress. We're concerned with that. We're not concerned with no high schoolers, no 14, 15-year-olds. We're concerned with the damn 30 and 40-year-olds who are doing things. That's what we're concerned with. And with
Something else?
no, we got to move on.
I'm gonna say this real quick. I don't believe that he went to an all white school with only 10 black people and none of the white folks didn't bully him. So you tell me all the 10 black people in his school band together to bully the one only African in the whole school, but none of the other white people didn't bully him in all predominantly all white school. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
That's nothing but false.
Can I
Yeah, it doesn't
respond?
make that story does not make any sense, and we keep hearing the same story over and over and over again. Okay, this story doesn't
Say
make.
something?
Sir, we're moving on. Let's get to Africa to America.
All right,
Oh damn,
I
Joel
only
was
got
up
a
here the
couple
whole time. We
questions.
haven't even gotten to him. We're gonna have to get to him next. Africa to America. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I only got a couple questions. And first of all, before I ask my question, I want to tell you guys one thing. Africans do not hate you. We actually love you guys. Why do we love you? If you look at countries like Ghana and other African countries, they're actually inviting African Americans to come to Africa. That's the first thing I want to tell you. And if you guys want to boycott Africans, fine. But remember one thing, the richest white man on earth is African. All these phones
The
that you're
richest
using,
white man on earth is
Elon
African.
Musk, Elon Musk is from South
Oh, okay.
Africa. The richest
Okay.
black man on earth is African. Okay, I want you to know this information. And the phones that you're using, the minerals that are in those phones are from Africa. So if you boycott these things, stop going live because you're using the minerals from Africa.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm from
Where are you
Zambia.
from?
I'm
Where
from
you
Zambia.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on,
Let
y'all.
me
Where are you
continue.
from? Where are you
I'm
from?
from Zambia.
Where do you
The
live? Where do you
minerals.
live now?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
You're in
So
Pennsylvania,
the
and
minerals.
you think you
But
can live. Hold
you're
on,
not
hold
letting
on.
me
No, no,
ask
no.
you
Hold on. Let
questions.
me
You
say
want to
this.
ask
So
questions.
you think you have some type of authority or some type, you think you're on some type of level
No,
where you can tell us we need to stop using technology, a
no,
lot
no,
of
no, no, no.
technology that was that was
By a
engineered
white
by
man.
black Americans, mind you, because the phone is an upgrade of things that came before it. So the telephone, the computer, and all of these
You,
inventions
you, you're not
that were
letting me.
black American inventions, and you're saying because of a mineral. Okay, well, if that's the case, then let's stop using the phone. And how about because you're in Pennsylvania, how about you stop using civil rights? How about that? Since if we're going tit for tat with, okay, since we can't use the phone because of a mineral that comes from Africa, how about you stop using civil rights? How about that? And we'll go with that, okay? How about you stop if we can't use the phone? How about you stop using doorknobs? We'll go with that. How about you stop using light bulbs? We can do that. How about you stop using the street lights? How about we can do that? How about you stop using elevators? We can do that. Folding chairs, we can do that. You can stop using computers. Okay. If you have an open heart surgery, I don't know what you're gonna do because we invented that too. If you need vaccines, I don't know what you're gonna do. We invented that too. How about you stop doing that? How about you get rid of your refrigerator? If we're gonna do that, don't eat peanut butter anymore. Don't eat fried French fries anymore. Macaroni anymore. How about? I mean, if we're gonna do that, let's do that all of the way. Let's do it all the way then. Okay. See, y'all don't want to go there with it. Y'all don't want to go there. Now you ain't got much to say now, huh? All right then. I thought so. Oh, he dropped. You see? You see?
Can I?
Yeah,
Can
I
I?
thought so. I thought so.
Can I
Yeah,
round up?
y'all don't really want to take it there. Y'all
Can
really
I?
don't.
Can I?
Y'all
Can
think
I?
y'all
Can
got something that y'all really don't. You think you know something you don't. All right?
Afro, can I just round up real quick, please?
No, we got to move on.
No,
Okay.
I'm trying to get to bed, please.
Okay. Well, we got to move on, so we got to get to Joel.
Just follow Afro Elites Live. Click the follow by his name there, and then come back for the next program, sir. But we got to move on. We're strapped for time. Go ahead, Joel.
Hey Afro, thank you for having me. And first of all, I would like to apologize about the guy that was trolling in the beginning. And the other thing that I like to say is that I feel like this whole hatred of Africans towards Black Americans has gone unchecked. And I myself am an African. And then this whole thing about we see this on the media, the Black Americans are not good and all this stuff. There's been so much technology. There's been so many people that came here in the past decades that could have already preached to the Africans back home that these people are not like this. But and then the other thing is the African business boycotting. I really support it because there's a lot of hatred I see towards Black Americans. And then the other thing is shopping into African stores. I've been to African stores to where a Black American walks in, and then there's this little like chattering of like just bad comments going on, and it's really disgusting for us to benefit from the work that you guys have done so far, and then to be explicit to everything that goes on and be like, we're gonna follow the white man to do this and that. And I really thank you guys for everything that you guys have done.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a lot of Africans. It's like we don't really want to admit to the problem that we are in this situation. We rather just dodge it and then just blame it on you guys everything instead of also taking accountability on our own parts. And I've seen a lot of people here. Like going back to the media part, it's just sad the way that we can just keep complaining about the media part when it's been like years and years that has gone by and we could have changed our mindset through the whole time, but yet we still complain about that, and it's not an excuse that we can keep using going on forward. And that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we family. All of that, the excuses gotta stop because that just enables the behavior. Okay, I wish I had more time. I really, really do. But we've been on here for a little bit, and I gotta get to some other things as well too. Before my live stream tonight. So I wish I had more, but we'll have another live soon. All right. But thank you, and I appreciate the fact that you take accountability. Thank you for that. Let me get to Afro Chat because you got a lot to say.
Actually, that's not true. I do agree with you when it comes to a bunch of Africans moving to America and undermining the struggle of Black Americans. There we have something in common. I do agree when it comes to people like Candace Owens.
Did you
I'm
say
Pan-African. Yeah, I'm Pan-African, Nigerian origin. I live in Philly. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's the thing. Mayron and the other few guys that you mentioned, they do not represent Africans as a whole, as a group. We're not proud of them. We do not stand by them. We do not stand by whatever it is that the ideology they carry. The problem is you guys hear a bunch of few coons here and there speaking, and then you think it's a reflection of the entire African continent, which is absolutely wrong. Number two, if you decide to have a strategy to boycott African businesses, you're boycotting actually, you're including Black people getting hired by these Black-owned businesses. So, because African businesses hire everybody, regardless of their origin. So we do hire Black Americans and Black indigenous. So if you boycott an African business, you're boycotting everybody Black. So that's my issue. It's anti-Black. And when I hear anti-Black, I'm gonna call it out as anti-Black, right? And that's where I come in as opposition. But when it comes to a few characters here and there, we do not take pride in Myron. We do not take pride in Candace Owens. And I feel like all that energy should be directed straight to these individuals. And if you guys would do that, you'd be surprised to learn that 90% of the Africans would join you on that plight. But when it comes
Right
to
there. Stop right
when it
there.
comes
Stop. You're really not telling the truth about the hiring practices of Africans. You're not. The general consensus is that Africans do not hire us. They hire their own. They will even bring their own family into this country and give them a job in those shops.
Okay.
Get it?
Yeah.
So don't lie to us. Don't play in our face.
I'm gonna let you land. And I just noticed the energy that you came in the chat room with is very different. But I'm gonna let you land. Afro chat.
yeah, well, when it comes, I'm reasonable. Like I'm reasonable,
Okay.
not just an extremist. Like I listen to all perspectives, and I've been here long enough to, listen to your perspective. You wasn't a clown like most clowns that I've been interacting with. So that changed my perspective because I treat you as the man you are. You get the point. Exactly. So my thing is,
let me speak on what you got to speak on for the sake of time, because then we got to wrap things up, right? For the sake of time, when you said Myron, all Africans don't act like Myron, I don't think anybody believes that all Africans or even all Sudanese act like Myron Gaines or Candace Owens or some of these other, because Myron also has another co-host. He does the Fresh and Fit thing with, I'm not sure exactly where he's from. He's also African. He's not from Sudanese though, I don't think. But when it comes to tethers and stuff like that, the problem that we keep noticing is that, oh, he's Caribbean. Oh, he's Caribbean. Okay. He's not, I know he was non-FBA. He's from Barbados. I remember that. He is from Barbados. The problem that we keep noticing is that they go on and that stuff gets unchecked and it's unregulated. And they go on, they're causing an issue, and even if they're the minority, and I want you to understand something, it doesn't take a large amount of people to cause a big problem. It only takes a small amount of people to cause a very big problem. These small amount of people have been causing a very big problem because the communities that they come from don't stop them. The communities that they come from aren't going to pull them aside and say, hey, you need to stop. Okay. As a matter of fact, what we see oftentimes is when we address them, the communities that they come from run interference and start defending them. Okay. So we're not just talking about Myron now, or Myron or Candace or anybody. What we're talking about is several different instances, okay, where we're assessing that the whole diaspora kind of feels a little certain type of way. All right. We can talk about the situation with Michael B. Jordan. All right. We can talk about the situation. There was a woman a couple years ago who went viral saying that she doesn't want Black Americans, specifically Black Americans, to go to Carnival. All right. We can talk about earlier this year when you had a whole bunch of South Africans making fun of slavery because of the Zulu parade in New Orleans. Okay. And then we can talk about what's going on with Juneteenth and how they keep trying to say Juneteenth is about Pan-Africanism. We can also talk about the situation going on in Essence Fest. And how when we said we don't like the cultural erasure of Essence Fest, you had Africans saying that we bought it, we can do what we want to do, and y'all need to let it go. So what we're understanding is that it's not just one or two people, but this is an issue that kind of the whole diaspora feels a certain type of way. And we're recognizing a pattern of problematic behavior from the diaspora. So this is why we're not getting anywhere. Now, as far as what you said about the Africans who hire Black Americans or whatever the case is, that's less than honest. You will have cases where Black or Africans will hire Black Americans, but you will also, guess what? You will also have cases where Asians hire Black Americans. Very seldomly, very rarely, but they will hire Black Americans. All right.
True.
So the thing is that if you, the argument and the logic of, well, if you boycott them, this is hurting you too. The thing is that you're trying to embellish on that because we are very rarely hired in these establishments. Most of these establishments, in most cases, everywhere, you all hire your own people and other immigrants in most of these cases. So yeah, the one or two people who might be out of a job, that's, that's unfortunate, but it's not going to create no mass impact, because you all, and I've said this before in another live, you all practice very similar economic behavior that the Asians do. And the Asians will put their business in Black American communities. They will allow Black Americans to come and patriotize them, but they will not patriotize a Black American business, nor will they hire Black Americans. Okay? So in a very similar way, you all practice the same type of economic behavior. So now we're starting to realize, okay, well, if they're acting just like other people who are a buffer class, then we need to treat them like a buffer class. So this is why we're at where we're at right now, because this has been years. This issue has been spanning years and has gone unaddressed, and it's gone unaddressed because a lot of you all do not have a culture of calling out off-code behavior. And that's just the truth. If you don't have a culture of calling off-code behavior, then that allows the people who are off-code and troublemakers to run amok. So your troublemakers are running amok and creating havoc everywhere they go, which is why in Africa, and you say you're Nigerian, in Africa, Africans are pretty much calling Nigerians out for the most part. Africans, I'm seeing a whole bunch of Ghanaians and South Africans who are throwing Nigerians under the rug right now because they can't stand the way Nigerians behave. Now, is it all Nigerians? No. But a whole bunch of countries in Africa are actually singling Nigerians out in particular about their behavior. So, and this is the issue that we have too. This is the issue that we're facing as well too. So this is why we're at where we're at.
Which is definitely true, and I do agree with you on that. And my thing is, if we're going to direct the hate, it's got to
and
be.
It's not hate. It's not hate. I don't have no hate. We don't have no hate.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. So maybe we can build on that because we have a lot in common. We don't back whoever does the bad behavior, and you don't support the bad behavior. So we do have a lot in common.
Okay.
So we just have to call out the people who are creating this confusion, and we can fix that. But the entire ideology of splitting into a different group, into another group, and then that whole thing is like, okay, well, it seems like you've been planning this for years.
No. It's not splitting into a different group. We're not a group. You know what I'm saying? This is a different lineage of people. We're a different lineage, and that needs to be recognized and respected by the diaspora. The same way I know that there's a difference between a Nigerian person and a Sudanese person, and a Sudanese person and a Kenyan person, and that person and a Jamaican person, and I can keep going on and on and on. I recognize that there are very big differences between all of you all's ethnicities, your culture, your habits, your language, your traditions, all of that. And this is what we are also establishing as well too, that we are just as different as you are. To Kenyans, we are just that much different. Okay? We have a different history, a different culture, all of that. And that should be respected. I don't understand why that is so difficult for the diaspora to comprehend and then respect.
Well, I understand what you're saying. My thing is, we have incidences where we had in our past we had African immigrants fighting for civil rights.
Okay.
And when they did that, the solution they came up with was, let's identify as black all together as one, right? So the thing is, if you guys are gonna split up into groups and then indigenous and then FBA and everything, you can't claim black. That's my only problem.
No.
Because black involves African immigrants and it involves
No, here's the
Hold
thing.
on,
descendants of
hold
slavery,
No, no, no,
and
no,
and,
no,
on.
and
Chat,
no,
hold
everybody
no,
on.
no,
and
no, no,
everybody.
no.
Afro
Stop,
chat.
stop, 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 stop. All right. BX, what'd you want to say?
Okay, so words and terms and race and ethnicities, they are defined and then redefined, right? So black as we know it, the construct made up by white Americans, really? The way it is in this land, we're not all black, sir. We're not. You're African. Your race is black, but you're from your country of origin, right? So I am black. And my ethnic group is African American / Black American used interchangeably. And now I identify as a foundational Black American to drive home the distinction because y'all act like there wasn't a other box on these forms where you were supposed to write in who you were, what country you derived from, how you immigrated here. Tell your story on paper and not mine, right? Because what y'all did was contribute into a paper G-side against foundational Black Americans. And so what you're thinking is, hey, we're making the distinction. Racially, we're all Black, but you got to understand that's also our ethnic group. And that's why you're getting pushback because race is daggone near unconstitutional in the United States of America. That's why Edward Bloom went after the Fearless Fund, affirmative action, and that's why DEI really isn't a thing anymore. It's race-based policy and it's unconstitutional. So we're not going off of race. Nobody will get anything off of race. But here y'all go, thinking that we're being hateful. And however, y'all know that too, because y'all are getting things for being Caribbean, right? You're getting things to be, because you're African immigrant, right? That's your lineage. That's your lineage. Ours is Black American. And so you can't get things off our lineage. And that's what we're saying, but we're hateful. Does that make sense, Afro?
It makes sense, 100%. My thing is, your race is black, but your lineage can't be black again because then my race is black too. My thing is, if you're gonna figure out
You
your
didn't hear.
lineage, you
Okay,
can't
You
use the
okay.
didn't
word.
Because
You
this
didn't
is
hear.
gonna get in, and we don't have the time to really
African
keep going back
American
and
is a
press.
new term. I'm gonna
Okay.
make it real fast. We are a reclassified people. Listen up, Afro Chat. I'm gonna make it really simple for you. We are a reclassified people. In my family, my specific lineage, my fourth grade grandmother went from Creole to Negro to Black, right? Okay, Black was in effect until the 1980s. Okay, we can argue when it was implemented, right? What came after Black? But African American, right? So my race and my ethnic group has always been Black. On official documents, I have always been Black. That's my lineage. What it denoted was I descend from United States chattel slavery. You don't have that history, sir. So you can't tell me who's older than you and who my elders are still alive that identify as Black and we descend from U.S. chattel slavery and our birth certificates and our census denotes that we can't use Black. You can't tell us that. What you can do is you can't use Black because you're Nigerian American. See how that works? So when they say, what's your race? You're Black. But ethnic group, we're the Black Americans. You're not. You're the Afro-descendant immigrants, sir. You're Nigerian. Don't play with me when it comes to the word Black. We define Black in here. The Black Panther Party, the Black Liberation Movement, the Black Power Movement. Black is beautiful. Black is bold. We created the Black essence in this land. You don't tell us we can't use Black, sir. You can't use it.
So when the cop pulls me over and I decide to run away, he's gonna call it in and he's gonna say he's a black male. He's not gonna say.
Man, because you already ran
He's
your
not.
plate, sir. You already ran your
He's not.
plate.
Okay, look, look,
Okay,
look,
He's not
look.
I'm
gonna
I
landing.
don't
say.
stop,
He's not
stop it.
gonna say.
Everybody stop it. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. The problem is that when you did have immigrants come over here from the diaspora and all that stuff, and they were fighting, we were all together. It was all under the guise of Black empowerment. And this is something that I'm trying to talk about when it comes to the common agenda. It was all under the guise of Black empowerment. What we're realizing now is that we don't have the same view or prioritization of Black empowerment. We are not dismissing the fact that we are black. Just because we are specifying what type of black, we are not dismissing the fact that we are black. Okay? We're not dismissing those things. All right. If we have more if we have more time, we could actually discuss this a little bit more. But I'm actually really stretching this, so we really don't have the time. But the issue is the lack of allegiance to black empowerment that we're seeing from the diaspora. That's the problem. And when you say, okay, well, we should all get on this, everybody is working together as a black thing, we have always been on that page. And we're not off that page. But we're realizing is that we're not going to pretend everybody else is on the same team. Because we realize that people jump in and out depending on if the team is winning or not. They play for their own team, but then when it benefits them, they jump on our team. And what we're saying is we're cutting the door, we're closing the door. People don't get to just hop back and forth. Well, I'm a Nigerian, so I'm Nigerian first, or I prioritize being an immigrant first. And then when it's convenient, now I'm black, and now I'm black first, and now I'm prioritizing being black. And this is something that immigrants from the diaspora has been doing for the last few generations now, where they've been hopping back and forth between their allegiances. They've been immigrant first when it benefits them, when it's policies and when there's resources. And then when there's resources for us, now they're black first and all of this stuff. So everybody has been really double dipping. Okay. All of these minorities, Dr. Claude Anderson has said this years ago, that all of these minorities are able to double dip, and especially, and now we're starting to really understand that especially immigrants from the diaspora have been double dipping where it comes to immigrant benefits and set-asides that they don't like to share. They don't share, they don't acknowledge, they don't try to participate, they'll cut us in. And then when it comes to a Juneteenth scholarship, they want to get in the front of the line. So all of this double dipping has to stop. Because we realize is that you guys aren't cutting us in because you guys don't have the same vision of black empowerment. We've been allowing you guys to cut in because we've had this vision of black empowerment. And now what we're realizing is that you guys are taking out and not putting in collectively. And that has to stop. Actually, that topic actually does need to be a whole live in and of itself if I have more time. But I don't have the time. I really don't have the time. So we'll just put a pin in that, and that might be another topic for another live we have. You know.
Definitely. And the more you keep talking, you'll figure out that you guys have a lot in common. You guys have so much in common with the Africans. You guys are not very far apart in terms of ideology. I do agree. There's disrespect on both sides. There's more disrespect with African immigrants because they get into Black American business, which I don't agree with whatsoever, right? Then also the other thing is, if we're gonna reclassify ourselves, we just have to make sure it's like, you know, if we don't want to identify with the Black essence, then we can figure out a different name. I've been in groups where like they've agreed to call themselves Copper Colored, Foundation of Copper Colored.
That's not.
You know,
thank you.
okay. And you know, but
that's not what we're discussing right now, sir. But the thing is that when you talk about we got a lot in common, the main problem is the fact that we don't have the agenda in common. Our allegiance is not in common. Everything else can be in common, even though there's many differences, but everything else can be in common. The allegiance and agenda, that's the main thing. Everything else falls. Nothing else is really important. Nothing else matters if that's not there.
Can I say something?
No, we're closing up.
Yeah, we're closing. We're closing. There was a whole lot of we's Afro. We got to decide how we gonna identify moving further. And the first thing out of his mouth wasn't Nigerian, Ghanaian, or something for them. It was copper colored, and I said, "Huh?" But anyway, I'm gonna end it on this. Nobody gets to migrate here and dictate to foundational Black Americans how they should identify. The whole reason we are identifying as foundational Black Americans is because we're tired of the government and so-called leaders saying who we are. We know who we are. We're foundational to this land. So I gotta ask you, when's the next time you're coming back on TikTok Live?
I'm not. I don't know. I might be able to squeeze some room tomorrow, but I gotta see.
Well, tomorrow, I got class, and that'll be over by at least 9. So before 7 and after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time works perfectly for me.
Okay, it might be a later one, to be honest, but I'll let you know.
Thank you. And this was a great live. Thank you to everybody who gifted. Click the heart, the orange heart by Afro's name as you're leaving. Give it a couple of taps, okay? 346,000 likes. Great job, Afro. And we're ending with 343 people. I really like this topic and this live. For the most part, it was calm, and we got some things out there. We know that they could lie about high schoolers calling them African booty scratchers or bullying them or whatever. Yeah. By high school, we're not on that, especially in an all-white T, predominantly white T school. What we usually do is we band together, huh? Because in a white T school, I was called the N-word for the first time in New York, Throgs next section of the Bronx. Get it? Mm-hmm. So we usually bond together in those situations. So I didn't believe that story. I land.
Yeah, and I don't believe that either, because they're coming at all of that stuff. That might be something if you're going to a predominantly black school, but when you go to a predominantly white school, most black people lock in when they're around non-black people. Most black people will lock in and put differences aside and understand that. So the fact that the only people you've ever had an issue with are black people, it just doesn't add up. It just really doesn't add up. And I find that to be very disingenuous. And a lot of them, I feel like, are telling very outlandish stories, horror stories about their childhood, because they know we can't really disprove that. We can't prove that they're lying. So they're saying anything at this point. And it's not really getting anywhere. It's not helpful to the conversation. So yeah, and I feel like they're lying. But this has been a good live. If you guys want to listen to the playback of this, you guys need to go to For the Culture on YouTube. Shout out to everybody watching and listening on YouTube. Thank you very much for that. Also, go to my YouTube channel, which the link is in the bio. That's Afro Elite on YouTube. The link is in the bio, Afro Elite on YouTube. Go subscribe. We're going to be live later on tonight. So you guys want to listen to that. You guys want to listen to the playback. Go to For the Culture on YouTube and Afro Elite on YouTube. And with that being said, thank you all for all the gifts, the likes, the comments, all of that. You all have a good rest of your evening.
You too, Afro. Peace, foundational Black Americans, love, light, and reparations.